In the U.S., we have one rule of law. I also want to talk about the 14th Amendment, which was added to the Constitution in regards to Blacks being given birthright citizenship because Blacks helped build this country, including the White House twice. Please do not tarnish the name of Black slaves by comparing them to your plight. There's no comparison, none. Black slaves did not break into this country, okay? They were brought here against their will. Also, Black slaves are not immigrants. Immigrants are people with a choice. They come here by choice. Black slaves didn't have a choice. That's offensive to me because I'm a descendant of a Black slave. And trust me, Ancestry.com's work, and I can trace my people back from when they landed here on the boat. I know the village where my people came from in Africa, okay? So please do not try to get away with using that. That's very offensive. This country has been good to illegal immigrants. You have been given jobs, houses, tax money, free tax money, welfare, Social Security. They open up business for you guys, etc. I don't know of any illegal aliens who have been hung from a tree. I don't know any of them illegal aliens who have dogs been sick on. So that's very offensive for you to sit up here and allow these people to say that and get away with it, thinking people gonna feel sorry for them. That's very offensive. Okay, do the right thing. My people get 3 strikes. I have a nephew in jail now, 22 years for something he didn't do. My people commit a crime, they go to jail. Your people commit a crime, they get amnesty. It is wrong. You know what it's called? It's called apartheid, and we're not going to have it. We're not going to have a set of laws for you people and a set of laws for us. And if you can't follow the law, talking about perish, your job needs to perish. You get paid with taxpayers' money, and you're misappropriating taxpayers' money when you pick up your check.
We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being number 2. You're going to go down and become number 4. Now, common sense, even a 3rd grade education will tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2, you all jumped ahead of me, but anyway, you can guess what you're going to get when you become number 4.
President Biden, do you support reparations?
Well, I mean, since I haven't spoken on this, got a chance. Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 out of every 100 children in our school today is Hispanic. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity for them is not only stupid and immoral, but it's bad for America. They are the future of America.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. And this is what we are faced with. And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
We are owed $104 trillion on the very low end, plus $735 billion recurring. This number does not include the cost of about 50 Black Wall Streets that were decimated, nor compound interest from 2017 when Sean D. Rochester's book, The Black Tax, was published, nor the cost of Black life, nor the cost of living increases, nor the war on drugs, nor the current day pandemic. The number I'm working with is for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives.
Good evening on the West Coast. Good evening in the Mountains. Good evening in the Central. Good evening on the East Coast. You know exactly who it is, family. Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest from the reparationist perspective. When you do so, Negro Descendants, hot topic, and making the case for reparations, making the case for weaponizing our votes, socializing our suffering. How y'all doing, family? I see you, Yaira. I see you, funny face. Thank you guys for being early to class. Early is a new old time, although I was late. Yes, I was. The struggle is real, y'all. Yes. Hi, Brewski. I see you, fam. Listen, please like Ivy Dreams. Oh, that's my day ones, my day twos, my day threes. Riding with your sister, no matter how bipolar her times are. Yes, I know I said 5:30, but my nap was getting good to me after church, y'all. Oh, I had some Roscoe's chicken and waffles. I had to lay it down. Okay, it was sinking, and it just took me down like the itis tends to do. So I needed an extra 30 minutes to get my slides together and to wake up. But anyway, I thank you for being here. Thank you, Facebook, if you're watching. Thank you, X, if you're watching. If you want to be a part of my brilliant, beautiful, fabulous tribe in the chat, my co-host, you need to bring it over here to ScrewTube. Stop playing with it, y'all. Stop playing. Get on in here. Get in here. I want to start. Let's do a little housekeeping. Thank you, Amahl. I just think I'm going to name him the lead producer of the Reparationist Perspective, okay? He just keeps on looking out for your sister. And so the batteries stay in my back when you guys do that. Because I know y'all love to see me lose my mind up in here. I know y'all love to see it. I know you love to hear the Reparationist Perspective. I know you love that TRP smoke that I always come with. So please, if you choose to be amongst the growing roster of producers of the Reparationist Perspective, y'all know I'm being demonetized. Y'all know they shadow banning me because your sister is going to stay on the neck of everybody who gets in the way of the reparations. Yes, I am. Bless the Cash App, $ TRP TV. Thank you in advance. But what you can do free of charge to get folks in here. Now, I know it's Sunday and I'm competing with a lot of the new black media, but I am the little engine that will. Okay. I am the little engine that would. Ivy Dream said it was no black immigration prior to 1900. That's why genealogists selected that date. Oh, yes. Okay, they already getting it in, child. They have their show in the chat. I've got the broadcast here. We just tag teaming y'all with information. So it's a lot to cover today. Now, what I might do, because I don't know how to edit, I might bring this broadcast down and then bring up another topic, because that way I can get my slides together and we don't have all these pregnant pauses in between. I've got a lot to cover. Y'all know I get to come here once a week, and I'm blessed to be able to do that. So yes, I know I'm in competition with some of your favorite ScrewTubers, but this is the day that I can come. So it is what it is. And we're just going to get these in and chew this elephant one bite at a time. I'm still debating on how to do it. I've got a lot to bring you. Yes, it's going to be hours long because I come once a week, and I'm trying to stay on top of these hot topics and not, get too behind, because that's what's happened. I get behind when I don't tackle everything on my mind and on my heart in the X files, in the TikTok files. That's where I usually get my cues as to what I want to speak on. So you saw me open the broadcast today with what appears to be a woman speaking back in the 60s about immigration. I'm looking at her glasses, her wig. I'm looking at the grade of the snippet that I shared with you. What's different? Other than we've got a gang more of illegals in the country that have to be taken care of with our reparations, our taxes, and our Social Security, because these smallpox blankets, POC, are being dropped into our communities. We've been over this several times in the archives, but I'm going to keep repeating it like Paul Mooney says till my teeth turn white, because I need y'all to understand and overstand that the Demonrats' single mission is to extinct the Negro and our justice claim. I've been screaming and sounding the alarms. As California has gone, the nation is going. And as far as I'm concerned, the deportations ain't just for hardened criminals. It's for all of them. It's a crime to come into this country, yes, even upon invitation by Joe Crow and Skamala. He is still illegally here. And so this sister, it was so awesome. Shout out to Nas Escobar. I think that was his video shared in the X-Files. Shout out to everybody I use over here or mention over here for the great content you guys are leaning in the social media spaces, which is where the revolution is being televised. Anyway, so she was speaking on that, and I'm going to show you a little later. Jessica from Chicago Flips read, not to be confused. We've already went through that. Not to be confused and conflated with P. Ray Easley, Chicago Red. They're not one and the same. But I've got a video of Jessica doing the same thing in 2024. Down there at the city council screaming on the fact that they are given all of our entitlements while we are left to wither on the vine, while we are left to be economically genocided. So I want to get into this Latino segment because, of course, they want to blame us. You know, when in doubt, blame it on the rain, blame it on the Negro, blame it on the Negro, blame it on the Negro. That's exactly what happens here. And so I found this, I saw it on someone's broadcast, I can't recall, but I had to find this for myself and speak on it. This Mexican woman is blaming us while using FAFO. Like, I am so over the Demonrats weaponizing our never-ending Holocaust to raise everybody but the Negro. And I am over everyone co-opting and corrupting everything smooth and cool about what we do. We bring in woke. The glacier donkeys make woke corrupt and co-opt. They make it about something totally, they make it about the liberal left who don't give a damn about the Negro. They make it about everything but what its intent was, which is we have awakened. Our third eye has opened. We have awakened enough of us just in time to call out and to see the Demonrats' economically genocidal plans concerning the Negro and our justice claim. No sooner than we started screaming and made reparations a national topic of debate and discussion, they started pouring on the reparations in proxy wars, on illegal immigration, on legal migrants, okay, immigrants in this country. They just started giving it away in our name. They got the unmitigated goal to use our Holocaust and the things that have happened and our atrocities to raise everybody but us. And I am done, and I'm here to call it out. So without further ado, let's get into what I've got to share with you. I'm going to go through these one slide at a time. And please be sure, get more people over here. We need more folks in this conversation so y'all can weigh in on what you're viewing as well, because I'm sure you got something to say about it too. Let me make sure you can see it. Yes, you can see it.
Starved. They are thirsty, only given 1 cup of water per day, are denied bathroom privileges, are denied medical attention. People in ICE concentration camps are losing their lives. And don't even think about saying FAFO, fuck around and find out, to these people in ICE detention centers. It is a shame that members of the Black community started the trend, and so many other people followed. This is an updated voting poll.
Updated.
Brown people voted for Kamala Harris more, but you fall for the colonizers' divisive tactics, the inaccurate voting polls, the initial propaganda. It is immature and immoral to be centering that type of behavior in response to a community that is being mass deported in prison and concentration camps and tossed out of the country to who knows where without any rights or contact to any lawyer or family. When we should be focused on solidarity, and this has to stop immediately, especially those of you who claim to be activists perpetuating this FAFOBS nonsense.
Shouts out to Aaliyah, because this is where it was on her page when I first saw this lady.
This shit is getting more and more hilarious by the day, by the month, by the year. I don't know if y'all remember this lady, Hispanic or indigenous or whatever she is today. But if you remember this lady a year ago, she was saying she was indigenous and Latino people was her cousins. This lady had so much shit to say about black people. She laughed about us being slaves. She laughed about all this shit. And she kept saying that this land belonged to indigenous people and Latinos. You can't send Latinos back because they are indigenous like she is. This is what this lady said a year ago. She said in 10, 20 years, this country is going to be predominantly Latino. And I commented and said, white people are never going to let y'all outnumber them in this country. Now she makes this video talking about solidarity with blacks. But you was just talking shit about us a year ago. She probably still, if you go on her page, she probably still got the videos up. Maybe she wasn't smart enough to delete the videos before she put this video up. But a year ago, I think it was like a year ago, this lady was dissing black Americans through all her videos. She had so much shit to say about us. Now she's hollering about solidarity, which cracks me up because immigrants say black Americans have no power in the United States, but they steady calling for solidarity with us. It don't make any sense. Dear Latinos and indigenous people, y'all need to stop making these videos about black Americans because this shit always backfire back on y'all. I'm talking about costs, it just keep happening. One thing about me, I keep receipts. I probably got some of this lady old videos. I got to check because I got a bunch of videos saved that I've been posting lately where this shit is backfiring on them. Everything they say backfire on them. Like the immigrants saying they wasn't black Americans and they this. Now they want to be black Americans now. But I keep receipts. This same lady, if she ain't deleted the videos, she got tons of videos talking shit about black Americans. Now she talking about some solidarity. Hey, man, this shit is just too funny, man. You can't make this shit up, man. The jokes are writing themselves, man. Oh, and another thing, I almost forgot. She was bragging about how much spending power Latinos had in this country. How Latinos come over here and do better than black Americans. The same thing the Caribbeans and Africans say. They all pretty much say the same thing. She was bragging about all this. Let me tell y'all something. Don't nobody know white people like black Americans, man. Clearly from these videos that these immigrants make, they really don't know these people, man. They don't. Some of them been over here 40, 50 years, and they don't know what the fuck they're dealing with. But we know what we're dealing with. We know what's going to happen next because we know these people. They don't. That's it.
So there you have it, family. So basically, I want to, go through naturally and give the reparationist perspective on this, okay? These people are incredulous, okay? I am in utter shock and disbelief how they want to be white when it serves them, and then how they want to ride our backs about our different acronyms that we come up with. How does FAFO and the Negro get involved in what's happening with ICE deportations when you guys, all criminals, have broken into the country and now it becomes our issue? Well, sugar pie, honey bun, I'm here to tell you it's not our monkey and not our circus. You love to get in bed with wanted white supremacists. And guess what I know about y'all? Y'all always running back under the cover of blackness when it's time to get someone out here to be a shield for anything that's going on with y'all. But I never see y'all complaining about the disproportionate number of Negroes on the construction sites, in the hotels. Yeah, these are jobs that we once worked. I'm getting to Jasmine Ratchety Crockett's ass momentarily. Like I said, I may have to stop this and start up another video. I got a lot to talk about, and today is my work day. This is the only time I can get it done, so I hope you guys are willing to hang in there with me, but I may have to cut it up. So she's definitely going to be dealt with and handled by the wig and those Volkswagen Beetle eyelashes. She's going to be handled. But you always want to come and run under our cover, but I don't see you doing any of this concerning the Negro that is being out. You guys won't hire the Negro. I got a video about that I'm going to play on repeat today. Yes, it's in the archives, but it bears repeating in this segment. I don't hear y'all complaining when we're executed by the race soldiers, our unarmed Black men, women, and children. While some of you may have joined the George Floyd justice and policing, George Floyd marches and protests. I don't know the count, but I'm here to tell you there's enough of y'all here to have really been able to make noise when these atrocities are happening to our people. You stay silent. As a matter of fact, you join in with these race soldiers and become one of them, right? This is what you do in the country of our ancestors that we built. Our ancestors built with their lives. I don't see you complaining about that. Like I said, you've got all these high-level positions that we've been phased out of, where you're in the seat to hire us and you won't. Brothers showing up to the construction sites, can't find who to contact to get employment, which used to be the thing that our Negro men did. Okay? You don't see, if you see any Negroes, it might be one or two. The rest are all Hispanic on these construction sites, and they remove ways to be contacted because they intentionally don't want to hire the Negro, which does what? Economically genocide us. But the minute we tell you with the help of Trump that the 14th Amendment is intended for us, now you want to cry and wail and gnash your teeth. Where is the Negro? Where is the Negro advocate? Talking to y'all about FAFO after you have mistreated them. We got lawsuits out here in California, how brutal the treatment was of the Negro on these job sites out here. Big old lawsuits that they're winning because of the racism by you guys. I don't hear you talking about how Spanish is required to get a job interview. I don't see you protesting that. Yeah, Spanish is required just to get an interview. And when you show up, you ain't got the complexion for hire. You can speak that Spanish as fluently as Pedro. You don't have the complexion in California for hire. And we're going to get to that video momentarily. So you're sitting up here blaming us, telling us that the polls were wrong. No, sugar pie, honey bun. Let's get into what happened in the polls. No, sweetie, you're not going to get these lies off and spread these lies. I'm going to always come with that TRP smoke and show you what it is. How Latinos voted in the 24 U.S. presidential election. Let's talk about it, since you want to say that they're lying and that it's propaganda and that y'all voted more for Kamala. No, you did not. Let me go down because I didn't want to read this whole thing. Latino support. Okay, here we go. The Associated Press reached out to voters by mail. Now, mind you, let's scroll up. They've got 36 million Latinos who are registered to vote. And we're going to get into it in another segment about how these Demonrats, they really showing their asses. They are really showing you what I've been telling y'all forever. Okay? They are really showing you what I've been telling you. That their goal all along was to replace the Negro vote. Now that we've awakened, now that the third eye, which is the first eye, is wide open, their goal was to flood this country, and they're fighting on the Hill. I think it was like 208 Demonrats voted against citizens exclusively voting in the country of our ancestors. That's another segment, so I'm not going to really jump into it, but I want to show you better than I can tell you what went down. So on November 5th, voters, this is 24, how Latinos voted. On November 5th, voters in the U.S., including 36 million Latinos, were eligible to go to the polls for presidential and legislative elections. And this is why the Negro, 50 million strong up in this country, can't afford to vote the couch. Y'all got to give up your couch votes along with your Demonrat votes and go out here and exercise a protest vote. 36 million of them. Now, if half of us stay home, or 40% like is customary, Obama being the only exception, you talking about 25 million of us exercising our right to vote to 36 million Latinos, which I'm sure proportionately they're turning out to the polls. Why? Because they have an interest in replacing us everywhere. They are complicit in the plans to economically genocide us. They're not protesting against this government giving them everything. I've showed y'all the video of the African woman that tells you straight up and down, we ain't here to help the Negro. We are here to take, as are the Latinos, as are the Asians, as are the Indians, as are the Caribbeans, as are the Africans. So you can't afford to gerrymander your own vote and then sit back and cry when you get coons like Ratchety Crockett. Okay, you get all these immigrants that are controlling the congressional black caucuses, only dealing with their issues. That's what the black vote for Demonrats and the couch vote has done. It has blazed a trail for immigrants to get in the way of the repair we are long overdue. Just the way Crayola wanton white supremacists wants it in this country. They no longer have to do it. They got people that look like you and me doing it for them. Let's get back into the text. So ASCOA Online provides key figures from exit polls and voting data to map out this bloc's vote in the 2024 U.S. election. So here we had Trump v. Harris. The Associated Press reached out to voters by mail, phone, and online from October 28th to November 5th to estimate the vote share for the major party presidential candidates. 42% of Latino voters nationwide, they cast a ballot for President-elect Donald Trump, 56% for Kamala. Latino support for Democratic presidential nominee hit a record low in 24. Did you hear that, Miss Mexico? Latino support for the Democratic presidential nominee hit a record low in 2024. Although Democratic candidate Kamala Harris maintained a majority of Latino votes, there was a margin of 14 percentage points between her and President-elect Donald Trump. This is compared to a margin of 34 percentage points in favor of President Joe Crow in his 2020 contest with Trump. This chart was compiled using data from CNN exit polls throughout the years, okay? So here we go. By gender, 50% of the men and 50% of the men voted for Kamala, 47% for Trump, 60% of the women and 60% of the women voted for Kamala, and looks like 38% voted for Trump. There's age, here's incomes. Less than 50,000, which would be us, by and large, that's our collective, 45% of them came out to vote for Kamala. 54%, making less than 50K, voted for Trump. Between 50 and 100K, 55% voted for Kamala. You see that? 50,000 to 100,000, 55% voted Kamala, 44% voted for Trump. 100,000 or more, 44% voted Kamala, 54% voted for Trump. So, you talk about a 14-point spread there. Now, let's look at the black vote. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Thank you in advance. Okay, let's share the screen. Now, Harris appears to have won 80% of the black vote, according to an exit poll by the Associated Press. But that's a drop. This is from Al Jazeera. But that's a drop of 10 percentage points compared with 2020, when the current president, Joe Crow, won 9 of 10 black votes. The beneficiary, Trump, who won 20% of the black vote this time, according to the exit poll. Thank you. You get a round of applause for being the brilliant Negroes with your third eye, which is your first eye wide open, going out to these polls, putting a protest vote in, akin to what the Demonrats always advise concerning the repugnant Klan, to protest against Trump. Don't you dare want for a thing. Don't you dare want for reparations. Don't you dare want for an end to qualified immunity. Don't you dare want an enforced anti-black hate crime bill. Don't you dare ask for any extras. Your only job is Trump bad. Trump bad. Trump bad. Trump bad. That's the only thing you Negroes are supposed to go to the polls and expect. For us to protect you from Trump bad, even though he might have 36 charges on him, convictions, okay? I think it was 90-something charges. We know this was election interference. Y'all treat us like we're not educated. It's offensive and insulting, quite frankly. So the only thing you wanted us to do was the same bullshiggity Negroes did in the 2020 election when you lied, Joe Crow, and said that you were going to sign the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act into law and to end qualified immunity. That's how you lied and got into office. Truthfully, I think y'all stole it. Akin to what y'all trying to pull now on the Hill, 208 of you voting against citizens being the exclusive ones to have a right to vote in this country. That's another topic. I'm not going to get into that right now. But I know what you did during Bernie Sanders' 2 runs, although he's a shield for y'all to, in the end, fall on his sword and deliver you corporatists, deliver you the top 1%, right, Demonrats? He's your corporate shield. He comes out, rallies the people under socialist ideas, only to come back in and say, fall on your sword for Hillary Clinton. Crooked Hillary with 3 Ks. Fall on your swords for Joe Crow with 3 Ks with the help of the Coon Clyburn. Yes, fall on your swords. Make way. Make way. Even though I'm beating the brakes off of Crooked Hillary. Even though I'm beating the brakes off of Joe Crow. You guys fall on all them donations and all that campaigning and all the phone calls and everything you've done to make me relevant and make way for the status quo. That's what you did, Bernie Sanders. That's why I stopped messing with you after I helped in 2016 and saw what you did. Yeah, because y'all all are involved in this political theater. And so shout out once again. I think it was more than 20%. Some of these things, you can't trust them because, first of all, the mainstream media is in the pocket of the Demonrats. So they're always going to make it seem like we didn't do as much as we did. You don't know what to believe. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear concerning the Demonrats. But I digress. So Trump, who won 20% of the black vote this time, according to the exit poll, he had won 13% of the community's vote in 2020 and 8% in 2016, which in itself was the highest level of support by black voters for any Republican since George W. Bush in 2020. And why was that, family? Because of my rally cry for a protest vote, like I'm doing now. I'm leaning in. I'm trying to get, because I know for sure that 23% of black men, they flatten blackness. it was 23% of Negro and melanated immigrant men voted for Trump. And they lie. I know this is a lie. More than 8% of us voted for Trump. So I think that that's a bold-faced lie. That's 8%. But yeah, so you take this 8% in 2016. You take this 20% and have that other 14% come in for Kamala. Y'all could have had a chance, but let's not blame us. Although we were definitely smarter this time around, we weren't in our emotional bag when we went to polls. Many voted the couch, which I totally disagree with. Do you guys know that Kamala won 17, I want to say it was 15 of 19 states that she won did not require voter ID. They made a way for these illegals to vote. They made a way. And they're continuing on the Hill to vote against citizens' rights to protect our elections. This is y'all's Demonrats, not mine. Anyway, let me keep going. I got more to show you. So I want to share some more with you. Let's just go through them and then I'll get to your comments. And like I said, I'll probably close this out and start the other one because I got to set up my video so it will go smoothly. I'm not an editor. Listen, I can be technologically challenged, but I have a lot to say. So let's get into it. Let's keep going, and then I'll read your comments, and we'll close it out. Hopefully, you guys will come back and join me. Okay, let's see here. Share the screen. So this is what we get for Mexicans who want to sit up here and tell us that we need to stop telling them to FAFO, and we need to stop celebrating their deportations, and we need to get involved and come out there and save them, even though they're here illegally, which makes you a criminal, breaking into the country illegally. This is what we get. Look at these beautiful young Black girls. These could be our daughters, family, mothers who know and have daughters, fathers who know and have sons. 2 Black girls were racially profiled at H&M location. The manager denied service to them because she thinks they will get violent and steal from the store with no actual proof. Let's get into it. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Thank you in advance. Okay. Hold on, guys. I want to start it from the top. I want to make it bigger. Please let me know you can hear and see it, co-host in the chat. I'm coming over. Okay. Okay, guys, you can see it. So prayerfully you can hear it. Let's go. You guys are more welcome. So it says, me and my sister getting profiled and kicked out of H&M and accused of stealing before. Let's go.
We're gonna go ahead and just refuse service. There's no reason. That's what we're gonna go ahead and do today. I'll go ahead and I'll take that. If you guys could go ahead and please leave the store, we'd really appreciate it. Wait, so why do you have to leave the store? Because we're just refusing service. We don't have to have a reason.
I think you should have a reason for kicking us out of the store. We're just shopping here. What is your reason?
To be completely honest with you, I don't have to have a reason. I'm just letting you guys know.
So are you going to kick everyone else out of the store too? Funny.
If we have the right to refuse service to anybody, so I'm having the right to refuse service to you guys. I don't have to have a reason. So that is my reason. So I'm just asking you guys to please leave the store today.
It's ridiculous. It's really happening. So you've seen us steal before? Is that what you're saying?
Nobody said that at all.
That's what he said. That we're repeat shoplifters here.
We've seen you in here before. I didn't.
I have not been here. So I haven't been here. I don't even know last time.
To be honest with you guys, we've seen you in here plenty of times before.
Us too.
Yeah, we've seen people.
Do you have like a picture? Because it's not us.
I don't need to show you guys. I'm refusing service to you guys today. I've asked you guys to please leave the store. I don't need you guys to get violent or anything like that.
Violent?
You guys are
Let's go. Let's go.
If you guys want, I'll talk to you guys outside.
How are we getting violent? Violent. It's crazy. This is, I can't.
This is the type of Crayola wanton white supremacist that they love to import into the country and drop into our communities. And then they want to scream and wail and gnash their teeth in order to get us out here, keeping them on the tit so they can be elevated some more in their wanton white supremacist status. These beautiful young Black girls can't even shop at freaking H&M without being profiled. How many of our children is this happening to? Now, kudos and shout out to the young girls who chose to leave before their lives were taken by the race soldiers. Okay? I am wishing that Carmelo Anthony, God bless him, and I'm going to do a segment on that. I'm wishing that he had just left as well. But here we are. So these are the Crayola wanton white supremacists that now want to blame us that their privileges are being revoked. The privileges that they receive at our behest, at the expense of us receiving reparations. You see, because to be for open borders, to be for illegal aliens, illegal criminals, to be for mass immigration is diametrically opposed to being for reparations. This is how you know the Demonrats are gaslighting you and lying to you about any real interest in making you whole. And the only words they will ever throw about is we're going to study. But it required no study, Joe Crow and Skamala and the Demonrats. When you open the borders up to 25 million illegal criminals and drop them specifically in our communities, when you tried it with Obama's Martha Vineyard, they were quickly removed from there. You don't drop them in white communities and absorb all of their taxes and Social Security. You don't even drop them in immigrant communities. You drop them into our communities. To our economic genocide is what you're doing. And cater to them. And protect them when they commit criminal acts. Unakin to ours, which we got nonviolent offenders still in jail. Which is the whole economic plan, you see. Bring them in for the cheap labor while you continue to make us the slave labor in the private prison industrial complex. Like we don't see you. Yeah, so this is one example. This is a recent example that I found in the X-Files. Let's continue. I don't have time to tarry. I got too much to go over today. Let's see what this one is. Oh, this is Miss Jessica of Chicago Flips Red. This is what I was talking about, juxtaposing the intro of the beautiful sister from, it looks like the 60s, maybe it was the 70s, in there complaining about illegals. Let's fast forward to 24. Black people hating on immigrants, nonsense and worse. Who should know better? You see how they like to try to shame us for putting the gate up around ourselves? Let's see what Miss Jessica has to say about it.
You don't hang no signs about black people hating on immigrants, because black people ain't got no reason to hate on no immigrants.
Oh no, but the immigrants got
we
no reason to hate
everything y'all
on us.
are in there, son. Let me tell you something. You get them signs down. Anytime that ordinary Lawson and Silverstein and what's that other?
Cesar
They sit up
Lopez.
here and
Lopez.
talk about how they should get a hate crime bill because SWAT sticks was in Ziploc bags in that community. They hung this in our community. We want it off the polls. We want that to be the beginning of a hate crime. And that organization, which is a white liberal organization, like in the words of Malcolm X, who told us what? That the white liberal is the worst enemy to the black man.
Yes.
And it is coming up in here acting like y'all representing some social justice.
Say that,
But all along,
Say
all
that.
you're doing is trying to use black people
Say
to
that.
find a reason to make some money.
Say
Let me
that.
tell y'all something over there. We're done. The Democratic Party is done. You ain't gonna mess with us like
Y'all
this
gonna
no
abuse
more.
us.
I'm telling you what I'm
They
telling
get to
you.
abuse the black
Trump
American.
gonna come in here and gonna clean it up. I'm telling you, the more righteous are Leave the Democratic Party. Do just like RFK Jr., just do like that Tulsa lady. You better get up out the Democratic Party. Save yourself, save your families, save your dignity, save your jobs, and save your seats. Because if y'all don't, we coming for your seats. We ain't taking this no more. We ain't taking no disrespect from a bunch of people who have broken into the country and now have completely broke the city, have completely broke the country, have completely disgraced the United States of America. America is a disgrace. And for us, oh my God, what a solution. You give us a fake, black, cackling hand of a candidate with a vice president that's talking about he want to put tampons in the boys' bathroom. The number one function of a president is to be the commander-in-chief. You tell me anything about a Kamala Harris that look like she can protect this country after y'all have sat up here and they get it overridden with a bunch of illegal immigrants. Y'all have sat up here and put America's hands in all kind of wars. And you telling me a tampon man that ran from duty don't even know what his rule was. Kamala Harris, who don't know what race she is, gonna protect this country? The devil is a lie. Y'all better get some signs down. Yeah, I know that.
And that was Mr. George Blakemore. Yes, she is always fire, Bruce. I just love her. I love her. She is fire. Yes. And she is all of that. And Lord have mercy. You know what? I'm jumping the gun, but I got to show this segment because this is supposed to be a part of another segment that I set aside for. But I just need to show it here because it's another Chicago Flip Red. I think her name is Danielle. I got to show it because these sisters are on fire. Just a second, y'all. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Thank you in advance. Okay, y'all. Give me a second, okay? Because I got to go over here to my show links and pull it from another broadcast and I'm intending to show it again. I beg your patience. I love y'all. Negro Freedman Strong. Just stand by. She told the TR room, get them signs down. Tampon Timmy and Scamala don't know her race. Oh, she knows her race. They love to play the black card. This is what I told y'all. I am over. Okay, hold on 1 second, y'all. Where did I put it under? Hold on. Control 5. Danielle. Okay. No matches. Okay, just a second, y'all. Vote. Okay. Just a second, y'all. I got to show this sister in this one, and then I'll show her again in the next one. I beg your patience. It's just too rich. You know my creativity gets to flowing, child. I just got to honor it. I know it. It ain't professional, but we family, y'all. Come on now. Y'all cut me some slack. My ears are burning. Y'all talking about me bad for trying to finish this out. I know y'all talking about me. Is this the one? Oh, Lord. They are in power because the Negro vote for Demonrats. And let's not leave out the couch. Okay, y'all. I'm not going to tarry. If it takes too long to find it, I'm just going to move on. And it's going to definitely be included in the next segment. Oh, this is the one. This is it. Okay, now, hold on. What have I been telling y'all? I'm always about these Demonrats. Dropping smallpox blankets into our communities to extinct us with our votes, reparations, taxes, and Social Security dollars. Okay. This is from the X-Files. I beg your patience. Now I got to go over here. And I've got to go here and put it in the search engine. Hold on, y'all. It's epic. It's going to be so worth the wait. Okay. Y'all, it's 5 minutes, but I got to play it because she is on point. Listen, it has to be archived here behind Miss Jessica. It just must be. There's no other way. There's no other way. Hold on, y'all. And it's going to be in another broadcast coming up tonight, but we got to do it here too. It just has to happen.
Good morning, Chairman and esteemed members of the subcommittee. And thank you to President Donald J. Trump, the people's president, for giving Chicago Flips Red our first platform, and to the subcommittee for the opportunity to speak truth in the people's house. We proudly stand with our president to bring his message to the Black American community and expose the lies pushed by the Democrat Party and the fake news media. We are here to confront the reality of sanctuary cities. Despite the word sanctuaries, these cities are anything but safe. Chicago has claimed the title for years, and now we're drowning in the consequences. Lifelong residents are pushed aside, schools are overcrowded, crime is out of control, and affordable housing is vanishing. This crisis exploded under Biden and were worsened by the reckless, agenda-driven leadership of Lori Lightfoot and Brandon Johnson. They didn't just ignore the collapse, they fueled it. In December 2023, a few aldermen tried to give us a voice, but the mayor and his allies used systematic stunts to block the vote on a non-binding sanctuary city referendum, silencing Chicagoans and stripping us of our right to choose. Every elected official swears an oath to serve their constituents and uphold the Constitution. Brandon Johnson has failed. He's dismissed that oath in his obsession with keeping Chicago a sanctuary for illegal aliens. He's driven our city into a $1 billion deficit, handed out shady non-bid contracts, and funneled over $6 million into services for illegal aliens. That's why we demand a full forensic audit focused on migrant-related spending. This isn't mismanagement, it's organized looting of taxpayer dollars. ShotSpotter, a life-saving gunshot detection tool, is gone. Hyde Park now bears a permanent 720-bed shelter as illegal alien shelters multiply all over our city. Tax increment financing, known as TIF, meant to revive struggling areas, are being embezzled. Our kids aren't learning to read, while the city teachers cater to non-English speakers. These are deliberate acts of neglect, justified by Chicago's sanctuary city status. Lori Lightfoot licked the fuse with executive orders, and DEI Johnson poured gasoline on the fire. Field houses has been taken, police stations overrun with illegal aliens in tents and are on the floors, leaving officers demoralized. My husband, a retired CPD officer, saw it all. Violence, disease, measles and tuberculosis outbreak, prostitution, and bed bugs that reached our home. Since 2025, over 51,000 illegal aliens have flooded into Chicago. The city's answer? Blend migrant and homeless shelters under the One System initiative and hope no one noticed. Homelessness has jumped by 207%, as 2,100 bids go to illegal aliens. When state funding ends in 2025, corrupt insiders will pass the contracts among themselves. This isn't policies, it's racketeering. My husband and I are tax-paying business owners. We did everything right. We invested in the opportunity zone. Thank you, President Trump. Applied for grants, and we were denied. Yet 140,000 illegal alien-run businesses were funded without question. Law-abiding citizens are being replaced to serve a political machine. MS-13, Trendy Agua, they're here. Their graffiti marks our neighborhoods. New gangs, the Venezuelan Disciple is forming in our neighborhoods. One shelter gets 20 to 30 police calls daily. Drug use, harassment, loitering, and violence have turned parks, sidewalks, and porches into no-go zones. This isn't immigration. This is an invasion. Sanctuary cities do not protect us. They abandon us.
Well, you heard it from the beautiful Danielle. You heard it from her. And where's the lie? As this Mexican woman wants to scream on the Negro for not jumping out the gym and crashing out over their deportations. Do you see any of them crying for the Negro, fighting for the Negro, who is suffering the highest rates of homelessness, unemployment, and underemployment due to mass and illegal immigration? I want a moratorium on mass immigration, and I want deportations and closed borders for all of them until the Negro is flourishing. That's my square. That's what I fight for. That's what my protest vote is about. That's what your protest vote needs to be about. While these Demonrats are fighting harder for the illegals than they are the Negro, who's been their most loyal voter base for 70 years. And we are on the bottom of the Titanic as a collective, with very few exceptions. And it's not just the ones in the orange groves, as I've always told you. This is happening from the lower level positions all the way up and through the executive levels of corporate, the public, and the private sectors. They're running it. And they're even worse in many instances in terms of their discrimination against the hiring of Negroes, and then once hired, their mistreatment of Negroes. Let's continue. I'm coming to your chats, family. This is a hot ass mess. I got a few more slides and then I'll get to your comments. She is demanding that the Mexican government transport them to the U.S. border so they can cross illegally into our country. Neither Mexico nor the U.S. is obligated to help them. The audacity of these individuals. Let's go. 46 seconds on this one. I'm just showing you, okay, Lord, if she's speaking in Spanish, I may pass this one. Well, it's on the subtitles. I'll read the subtitles to you guys, okay? Guys and dolls. Let me make sure you can see it. Lord knows. Okay, you can. Migrants in Oaxaca declare themselves on a hunger strike. People from different nationalities put tape around their mouth, demanding that the federal government help them move to the northern border of Mexico by bus. People want to cross into the U.S. before Donald Trump reaches office as president.
Ya iniciamos una huelga de hambre, ya que estamos pidiendo eso, ayuda para poder avanzar a la Ciudad de México, que nos lleven en bus. Ya de verdad no podemos, hay mujeres con niños, mujeres embarazadas, personas mayores que ya no aguantan.
Oh, by the way, while the Demonrats push abortion down our throats, aborting the Negro baby, they're making space for the pregnant women to drop their load off and become U.S. citizens. With our 14A. Let's continue. They do not give up on anything else. Wait, let me back it up a little bit. Hold on, because I missed some when I paused it. Let's go back. There is no longer a way out. There are women with children, pregnant women.
Personas mayores que
older
ya no
people
aguantan,
who
ya no dan
cannot
para
take it
más.
anymore. They do not give up on anything else. And since we came from Arriaga,
desde que venimos de Arriaga y nos han
we have
dicho
been
solamente engaño porque no nos han
Lord, it's
llevado.
going too fast.
Migrantes en
Let me back it up. Hold on, y'all. They do not give up on anything else. Wait. And since we came from Arriaga,
desde que venimos de Arriaga y nos han
we have been asked for many helps, but they only told
dicho solamente
us
engaño porque no
lies
nos han
because they did
llevado.
not bring them
migrantes
here.
en Oaxaca se declaran en huelga de
So a lot of them were threatening hunger strikes. I say in lieu of hunger strikes, why don't you stay and build your own countries? You guys started to buy into the lies of Joe Crow and Skamala. It's what you did. You started buying into those lies, and then you came and Trump was on the precipice of being elected, and things stopped. The app stopped, the night flight stopped, the Border Patrol had to stop all the stop you guys from coming into the country. And so you got stuck because you somehow believe that traveling over a myriad of countries to get into Mexico so you can sneak into, not sneak, walk right on in at the invitation of the Demonrats. You thought you could achieve that before Trump got into office, and it stopped prior to him getting into office. And so you got stuck out there. And you guys want to talk about a hunger strike? I say do as the Negro has done. That's what I say. Go to your countries and build it like the Negro built this country. Go back to your countries. Allow them to use you as slaves for pennies on the dollar. And then replace you with someone. Let that happen over there. We got enough of it over here. Let's continue. I'm just about done with these videos. This is Rich. Aida, thank you, Juicy Genius, for this post. This is an X-File. Aida Rodriguez tells Charlemagne the God, the devil, Charlemagne the devil, that Latino Hispanics have their own white people, which makes it easier for them to assimilate into white America, something that Black people will never be able to do. And this is why Black America will be delineating. There is no Black and Brown coalition. There is no people of color, and we will not be included in a bucket with people who literally hate themselves. They come to America wanting to have an allegiance and an alliance with white people. I mean, from the lightest of brights to the bluest of blacks. Wanting to have an allegiance and alliance with white people so that they can practice anti-Black hatred. Let the delineation and the deportations commence, says Juicy Genius. Let's get into it. Please be sure
a white
like,
identity that
subscribe, turn on your notifications. Thank you in advance. Let me make sure you can see it. This is why I tell y'all Negro love, marriage, and babies is revolutionary. Because it's very difficult to be a part of the revolution when you look down in the face of a Ling Ling, a Maria, or Ling Ling, Maria, Skamala. I'm just trying to come up. When you land with all these other men, Becky, when you land with all these other races of women and producing children with them, you lose your power, Negro man. You are rendered powerless just the way they want you. Give you interracial sexual access, and you are rendered powerless to fight for the Negro woman and the children when you're not married and have a vested interest in the Negro babies that you're out here producing and abandoning and not making a proper wife of that woman. Yeah, I said it and I didn't stutter. Negro love, marriage, and babies is the revolution. Teach that to your children. Let's go. Let me make sure you can see it.
How does the Latino vote differ so much from the black vote?
Because we got our own white people.
Oh.
And people don't understand that
Okay.
we have all, and the assimilation possibility for Latinx, Latina, Latin people is higher. People can come from other parts of Latin America, marry white as like they're told to do, assimilate and assume a white identity that black people cannot escape from. So they will continue to vote in that way because to them that's upward mobility. And unfortunately for us, success means being patted on the back. Not all of us, because y'all gonna go crazy on Twitter. I ain't got a Twitter, so it's okay. But they get the pat on the back from white people, and they feel like that's what being American is. Damn. And that colorism is real in our community. It is.
How does the Latino vote differ so much?
So you heard it
How does
from
the
her.
Latino?
You heard it from her. You heard it from the horse's mouth. They love to assimilate into whiteness and then turn to us to save their whiteness. They want the Negro to save and not make fun of and not FAFO them. They want that to be the Negro's charge, to protect their white privilege at our expense, at our economic genocide, at our extinction, along with our justice claim, which is being used to pay and fund their white privilege in America. Let's continue. Then I'll get to your comments, co-host. Now, this beautiful sister here is telling you what is costing the Negro when illegal immigrants and mass immigration takes over the state of California. I'm a witness. I've told y'all several times about how they came through and wiped out all the Negroes working at Wells Fargo Bank and replaced us with immigrants. So this young baby isn't lying. As y'all continue, not my smart ones in here, whose third eye, which is the first eye, is all the way open. Listen, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. But for those of you who keep running out here putting on the cape for the Demonrats, this is what you're doing to your own children. You see, the boomers got theirs already, but they give no damns about what they're doing to Gen X, the millennials, and Gen Z. Well, I am a Gen X, and I give a damn, and I'm going to keep speaking because my daughter is Gen Z, and I'm fighting for her as well as y'all's children. Okay, so this is what happens when you don't go out and do a protest vote for a candidate who's running on deportation, closed borders. When you vote the couch, when you vote Demonrats, this is what you end up with. Beautiful babies like this crying to get employment, crying. Let's go. Thank you, Woodsy, for your post in the X-Files. This is why illegal immigration is bad for Black America. Black Kamala supporters should be thankful that she lost. This young lady said they are not hiring Black Americans in LA, and she ain't ever lied. This is the God-forsaken truth, and this is why you see us leaving in droves. We're being legislated and replaced out here. Let's go. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Thank you in advance.
When it comes to the job market in LA or California, there's a huge discrimination issue going on with Black Americans. Employers are not willing to hire Black Americans, even if they are qualified. Even if they're overly qualified, they're still not willing to hire them. There's a hidden agenda at play here. And it's been going on for quite some time that organizations started to pick this up and investigate it. There's an organization in Los Angeles called the Los Angeles Black Worker Center, where they're currently investigating the discrimination that Black Americans are facing in the job industry in Los Angeles. But they're also providing resources and access to better wages and opportunities. We've seen an increase of employers only wanting to hire people from the Hispanic community, and there's nothing wrong with that because people have to work and provide for their family, but they're not doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it with the intention to control, because when it comes to fighting for injustices or speaking up about certain things, they feel like the Hispanic community is not going to speak up because they're normally quiet. And like we know, when it comes to fighting for injustices or speaking up, Black Americans are always on the forefront fighting for change. Black Americans are always the ones speaking up for everybody, fighting for change. But they feel like with the more Hispanics that they hire, it's easier to control them because some of the times they're undocumented, so they won't cause any problems. They can pay them less. They can mistreat them, disrespect them all they want. They're not going to cause any problems. And that's another issue at play. The other issue is that other people of color are not willing to speak up for Black Americans whatsoever. The only time they speak up to help Black Americans is when they see Black Americans have an advantage that they don't have. It also seems like there's an issue to keep Black Americans at entry-level positions as well and to bully them so they have a harder time moving up in the ranks. Platforms like Indeed and LinkedIn need to do a better job at regulating if these companies are really hiring or not. Because what these companies are doing are they're using LinkedIn and Indeed as a social media tool. They're posting that they're hiring and doing all these paying for the promo, but it's really a marketing tool when they're really not hiring. It seems like LA or California is trying to push Black Americans out, and they're starting with the job industry.
You heard it from our baby. She looks like a millennial or a Gen Zer. Beautiful, brilliant, and no lies detected. Been through it. Got the t-shirt and the bumper sticker. And that's why I scream on this channel about it. Because as California goes, the nation is going. It's not just the orange groves. You heard the young sister tell you that these same Latinos who want to blame us for why Trump is in power, even though they overwhelmingly voted for Trump, she wants us to put the cape on for her people, but they never speak out against these kinds of issues that our people are going. And they won't do it in any of your states either. And my question to you is, when you're legislated out of the state, as we have been here, where is the Negro going when they're legislated out of the South, and with what? That's why I'm for a moratorium on immigration and mass deportations and closed borders until the Negro is flourishing. This is how you economically genocide and ethnocide an entire lineage and their justice claim. You're watching it happen in real time in these series of X-Files and TikToks that I'm sharing with you. This is serious. So you need to unass your couch, stop being politically lazy, and get to these polls and vote against this. At the same time, you need to run for office. The soil needs to run for office. At every branch of government. We are out of time. You can clearly see it in this series of X-Files. Let's continue. I want to share this, and I have one more file to share with you all. But this is the sentiment of these Latinos, Crayola wanton white supremacists. Let me see if I can blow this up. Oh, I can't read it now. But these are some of the Crayola wanton white supremacists that are from the Latino community. Let me close that because I can't really read it when it's blown up like that. Okay, I think that my who's posting this? One of one. Shout out to you. These are some of their sentiments. Let the Negro fight his own battles. His problems are not mine. I don't want to ally with him. The next quote: Latin Americans of Mexican descent belong to the Caucasian race and are therefore white. I didn't forget anti-Black and say ninja more than we do. This is what they do. But they want us to put on the cape. I know Negroes aren't getting their full share of democracy, but frankly, I'm prejudiced against Negroes, and I do not believe that they are entitled to everything that we get, says Gus Garcia, Mexican-American civil rights attorney. Civil rights attorney. This is Crayola wanton white supremacist with 3 Ks. I read this one. Let the Negro fight his own battles. His problems are not mine. I don't want to ally with him. This is Felix. Oh, Lord, that's so small. And if I blow it up, it's too blurry. Felix Tejavina, Mexican-American president of LULAC from 56 to 60. This is what they're allowing into the country. They may come in here through the border, but then within 5 years, they're outpacing us economically. They're giving them homes. They're giving them cash aid. They're giving them food stamps. They're giving them everything while denying the Negro. We aren't entitled to anything the immigrants are entitled to, no matter how much you need it. You are expected as a Negro to pull yourselves up by your bootless straps. We are not and have never been a civil rights organization. Personally, I hate the word, says Hector Garcia, founder of the American GI Forum. Latin Americans of Mexican descent belong to the Caucasian race and are therefore white, says John J. Herrera, LULAC president, 1952. Now, does anything about this sound any different from the Ku Klux Klan? No. And when you vote Demonrat, this is what you're voting for. Now, it's not like the Republicans aren't for this too. Oh, they are. They are. But I'm just telling you, we are out of time because these are the type of people they're importing into the interior of this country. You see way back since 1960, these people, Harold. And just like the KKK, they breed this through their children. They teach it to their children. And then these are the ones who deny our beautiful children employment. Our children are denied business loans. Our children are denied housing. Let me close out with this last meme, this last X-file of this Mexican woman telling other Latinos and Mexicans why she voted for Trump. Yeah, instead of coming down on the Negro about what we did with our protest vote, why don't you go gather your own people, Miss Mexico? Let's go, and then I'll get to your comments. This should make every American's blood boil, says I meme 30, therefore I meme, therefore I am. Shout out to you. Thank you for the X-file. Now I don't know if I shared this before. I don't even know if I got to it, but it was in my files. So it's a perfect time to introduce it here.
I would love to wake up every day and my biggest problem be whatever I want to get upset about on the internet and whatever I want to let stir me up. I see that it says Carmen in Austin. So I'm guessing that you're in Texas. I'm born and raised here in California, okay? Mexican-American. And because I was born on this side of the border, I do not get benefits that illegal immigrants are getting in the state of California. So again, if you are not in California, you are not in my state, you don't know what's going on over here. As an illegal immigrant, we have something that our health insurance system, it's called Medi-Cal, okay? Not medical, Medi-Cal. That is government-funded free health insurance. As an illegal immigrant, you immediately qualify for Medi-Cal, okay? Do you know what it costs to pay for health insurance for a family of 4 in the state of California? Let's compare Mexicans to Mexicans, apples to apples, okay? My girlfriend, stay-at-home mom, Mexican, married to a husband, Mexican, raising 2 children, Mexican, family of 4, okay? He works a modest average American job. The health insurance for a family of 4, okay, $1,300 a month. Whereas an illegal immigrant walks in and gets offered free health insurance. My friends are not, they're not making an insane amount of money. She's a stay-at-home mom. They drive average paid off cars. They rent an average home. It's nice, but it's nothing lavish. They don't drive a luxury vehicle. They're not driving Mercedes. I think they have a Kia, like a family Kia that they share. And so that family that is hardworking and again, they're living an average working class life, pays $1,300 a month, but the illegal immigrant that just comes in gets free healthcare. That is a policy that Trump said absolutely not. That is what I voted on. Another policy that I voted on here in the state of California, as an illegal immigrant, when you cross that border, you qualify for a Stay Connected plan. Stay Connected is a phone plan through Verizon for illegal immigrants and displaced homeless people where you get free phones. You get a free iPhone and a free plan so you can stay connected to your family back in Mexico. I pay $230 a month through Verizon for 2 iPhones, 2 lines. Why is it? Because I was born on this side of the border as a Mexican American. I have to pay $230 a month for my phone, but an illegal immigrant gets a free phone. Again, policy when you ask, what did I vote on? That. I graduated from UCLA, okay? I have a bachelor's degree. I paid for that bachelor's degree. As an illegal immigrant, you qualify for funding. You qualify for first generation. And if you're a dreamer, you qualify, a DACA recipient, you qualify for funding and federal aid. You qualify for grants that I don't get. Why? Because I was born on this side of the border. So the same education, I worked here, my family worked here, I put in the time, the hours, the effort, whatever. We are the same, but because you were born on that side of the border, you don't have to pay. Why? Why? It's so when you're coming to me and you're saying like, I don't know what policies I voted on, all I did was vote based off of policy. Do you think I voted for Trump because I think that he's a great representation of moral fiber? Do you think that I look at that man and I go, wow, what a pillar of strength. I wish he was mine. That man has multiple baby mamas, multiple divorces, and he's wild when he gets behind a microphone. I don't look at him as the epitome of the end all be all. He is not our savior. But when he came in and he said, enough is enough, we're putting Americans first, that is exactly what I voted on. So when you want to advocate and say that you're for the Mexican people, be for all Hispanics and not just the ones that were born on that side of the border, because you don't get to pick and choose which Mexicans you care about. Because when you say that you care about the Mexican people and then you only want to care about those that were born in another country, then you're living in the wrong place. I care about Americans. And when you say, again, what are they doing for the Mexican community? Like what policies? That's the policy that I voted on. He was putting Mexican Americans first. It was no longer this, oh, you came over the border, let me give you everything. Do you know what our governor, Gavin Newsom, proposed? He ended up vetoing his bill, so it didn't go past. But, you know, California, we hold up to 33% of the nation's population. That means for every 100 people in the United States that are homeless, 33 of them live right here in the great state of California. And you know what Gavin Newsom did? He went on national television. Again, our great liberal governor went on national television and said, I want to give $150,000 down payment cash to illegal immigrants so we can help them purchase homes. He said that on national television. If you are an illegal immigrant, every illegal immigrant is going to get $150,000 down payment. Meanwhile, in California, we have 33% of the nation's homeless population, and a majority of them reside here in LA. So when you're saying, I don't know what I'm voting for, that's an issue. Again, the bill ended up getting vetoed. It ended up not passing. But even though how comfortable he felt proposing that to the Californians was crazy to me. So no, it's not a matter of I'm not racist. It's not a matter of I hate my people. It's a matter of Americans need to come first.
Whoop, there it is. Now you've got a Mexican telling you this, Miss Mexico, who thinks it's our monkey and our circus to spare you from deportation and closed borders. And if she's got all the privilege she's got, what did that cost a Negro? What did her white privilege in California cost the Negro? As they sit up here and do this, I got to show this one, y'all. I got to show this one. This is what we get while fighting for reparations. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it quickly. It's not under CJAC. Oh, God. Let me see here. Reparations. Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm looking through my X files. Hold on, guys. Just guys and dolls, I got to show this one because this is real what's happening to us out here. It is inconceivable. Once again, it's supposed to be a part of another broadcast, but let me see if I can find it real quick. Because it needs to be shown here. Hold on, family. Just a second, fam. I beg your patience. This is important. This is my creative genius at work. Listen, when it hits me, it just hits me. Okay, it just does. And it hits me to show this here. I meant to show it in a different broadcast, but now is clearly the time. Hold on. That's not it. Okay, let me search. If I don't find it quickly, I will bring it in to it. Oh. Thank you, God. Okay. Hold on, family. Just a second. I remember where I placed it. I think I put it under commercials. Hold on. Okay, family. I'm going to move on because I don't readily see it. I don't know. Let me just take a couple more seconds. Let me see. Commercials. Let's see what this one is. Hold on, family. Just give me a second, guys and dolls. It's like being in the music studio. That's how my creative works. It just becomes that. And I'm not putting my hands readily on it. So I know I saved it, but I have to find it. Hold on one second. Just give me 2 more seconds, family. Work with your sister. Work with your sister. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Let me try this last one. Then I'm going to move on to your comments after I. Oh, Sugarfoot. That's not it. Oh, I hate when this happens. I really do. I really do. I cannot stand it. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, I'll have to find it and bring it the next one because it's not populating under any of the things that I am searching, which means I don't know where I stored it. But yeah, what I was going to share with you was, and I will share with you, but it's going to have to be under one of the other broadcasts that's coming up. because I'm just going back to back. After I do these comments, I'm going to shut this down for about 30 minutes, get all my slides together so I can boom, 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 knock all these topics out that are weighing on me that I need to bring to you. I was looking for a video where Chris Lodgson, head of CJEC, Coalition for a Just and Equitable California, whom I shared with you about last week when we were fighting against SB 437, which funneled $6 million of the measly $12 million that was earmarked for an agency for us to get reparations in the hands of the Negroes that are remaining out here in the state. That particular gentleman was visiting, I can't remember the Black man's name, but he is clearly foundational Black American. They were on tape appealing to this man to advocate for a piece of legislation to get our seniors UBI, like their own set-asides as descendants of slavery. And I was wanting to share that with you here, to memorialize it here, to juxtapose it to Miss Mexico UCLA, who has all of her white privilege, while we're begging our own people to advocate for us to get something unique as descendants of the emancipated, while our seniors are going homeless. One of my parishioners, her mobile home, she ended up having to sell it because she was being forced out of the mobile home park where they want to build housing and jack up those prices to bring in modern families. This is a senior village that she's lived in since forever. She was bequeathed the mobile home. It doesn't look like a mobile home. It's a really nice, spacious, I want to say 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a large everything. Now she is forced in a couple of weeks as an elder in her 80s. She just turned 83. She has to literally pack up the house she has lived in since forever and move into a 2-bedroom apartment with 1 bath, $2,200 per month, because they keep going up on the property rent. She doesn't own the land. She did not buy the land. Don't know that she could have afforded the land when it was being sold at the time, but she didn't buy the land. And this mobile home sits on that land. And under new corporate with 3Ks ownership, they continue on her fixed income of Social Security, which I think she may only clear about $2,400 a month. Can you imagine in California what this has done to make our seniors homeless? So she literally has to cram her life into a $2,200 a month rental across the street, where she once owned a very spacious house, mobile home, that sat on a plot of land, that she had her own yard and her own driveway, her own everything, okay? Now she has to squeeze her life into a 2-bedroom apartment with stairs at 83 years old. And this is what CJEC is fighting for. This is some of the advocacy that I'm sharing with you guys, that you must go in and just fill in your name. They've got the letters to these, politicians. They've got the letters for the Congress people they're caping hard and stumping hard because we did not prevail on SB 437 opposition. Akilah Weber, as I mentioned in the last video, she is the daughter to Dr. Shirley Weber, who is responsible for the assembly bill that got us the task force so that we could assemble 1,100 pages worth of harms. She wanted $6 million of those dollars. First, they wanted it to go to the nonprofits. Then they wanted it to go to one of the Cal State University, something like that. I can't recall the name of the college, but they want them to literally be paid $6 million to study which is the best approach to identifying who we are in terms of our genealogy, when a birth certificate will suffice. That's what we get, family. Taxation without representation is our plight. And I'm doing everything in my power to ensure where the Negro is still have a stronghold, that you don't niggardly vote yourself into the same position that we have here in California. Can you imagine if your grandmother had to move from the home she knew and loved forever to be crammed into 1,000 square feet for $2,200 a month, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, with stairs at 83 on a cane? Which is to my point. If Miss Mexico UCLA is complaining about illegals, how much more detriment is it to the Negro? And that's why you've got to unash your couches. Because when they're in control, they're an enthusiastic and emphatic no to our repair as Crayola wanting white supremacy. So no repair, unemployment, underemployment, highest rates of homelessness, highest rates of evictions, means you are legislated out of the state. Don't let your state become ours. Don't be the one that has to see the fat meat is greasy. You don't believe the fat meat is greasy till you see it frying. Don't be that, because that's what happened out here. We're done. Let me get to the comments before I pray us out and do my declare and decree against these demonic forces seeking to upend the Negro and our justice claim. I'm going to do my declaration, and then I'll pray us out, and I'll be back. I'm going to set up the next broadcast. You see, this one is already what? We came on at 6. It's nearing 2 hours. So I want to put a button on this one and start the other one and be able to fly through that, okay? They won't all be this long, just to let you know. But until I learn how to edit, I'm sure it's going to come. I want to close it down and come back in, okay? Let's go to the comments. Chew the elephant one bite at a time. Thank you for joining the live. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe. Hi, Angela. Okay, I'm going to go to the pertinent comments before I do my declaration. Okay. Hi, sis. This is from Ivy Dreams. I reached out to the genealogist. Oh, Lord. I like to try to be without my readers, but it's too small. I can't see. Hello, sis. I reached out to the genealogist, Willis. He said there's another hearing on 4/22/25. He is against Aquila's AB 437. He confirmed it was Black immigration prior to 1900. He confirmed there was Black immigration prior to the 1900s. Interesting. Okay. That means it was prior to the 1965 Immigration Act. Okay, well, I still don't believe that immigrants should have anything to do with our justice claim. I don't think that they were enslaved here. And if they want justice, they need to start their own. They don't need to try to tether and piggyback on ours. This is our fight exclusively for the Negro descendant of the emancipated. It's not for immigrants. I don't care when they got here. Go do this in your own country, not ours. As a matter of fact, your reparations is being in this country that my ancestors, our ancestors built with their very lives. That is your reparations. You've been made more American than us. I've given you guys the statistics several times over here about African Blacks being 60,000 liquid to U.S. Black 200 liquid. They were 54% degreed to our 44% degreed. Their median income was $113,000 to our $53,500. Hispanics were 17% degreed, and their median income was $50K, which was within $3,500 of our median as 44% degreed. And that's from a free PDF, The Color of Wealth LA, from 2004 to 2014. So I would venture to say, given the statistics, that you've got your reparations. Yes, Bruce, Roscoe's. I had a taste for it. I had to do it, y'all. I've been working out really hard. I'm planning a major trip for my daughter's 21st birthday. And I want to be accused of being sisters. So I've been working out like crazy, doing Pilates, power walking on my favorite gym in the world, my beach. And yes, I had a taste for Roscoe's chicken and waffles after church. So I treated myself. Yes, I did. Thank you for forgiving my forgiving my tardiness. Ivy Dream says, it was no Black immigration prior to 1900. That's why genealogists selected that date. Oh, I thought you said there was. Okay, I think I'm confused, Ivy. If you want to straighten it out towards the bottom, let's do that, and I can revisit it. I'm even tired of the so-called legal immigrants. They're getting on my last nerve. YT ones are not excluded. Funny face, you ain't never lied. That's why I am for a moratorium on legal immigration, and I'm for deportation, closed borders. They all want our position. They are here to take. Oh, thank you, Yaira. She shared my live with the Ethiopian tour group. Thank you so very much, Root Trackers. She's just back from Ethiopia with Phil Scott from Africa Diaspora News Channel. We had a great catch up yesterday. We went hard in the paint. We had a great time over the telly. Orange Man is giving the boot to the indigenous Latinos. Well, not fast enough for my taste. I want them all gone. I don't want any immigration until the Negro is made whole, because you see, immigration, that's what it's designed to do. It is designed to ethnocide, economically genocide the Negro. So I want them all gone. Yes, I do. They push La Raza. We are pushing Black and Negro descent, freedman, ADOS, FBA, etc. You got it, Ivy Dreams. That's right, my sister. Let the Latinos show off their spending power in their homelands. I love it, fam. That's what's up. Yes, Yaira. Get the likes up, family. Get the likes up. I don't even know. It says 26 are watching. Well, there should be 26 likes and 26 shares, as far as I'm concerned. Thank you, Ivy. Take my time. Demonrats are completely worthless. Yes, Brewski. 80% of FBA voted for Demonrats. Damn. Exactly, family. It's a problem. That's why I got to stay on their necks. Okay. Hi, Black by Nature 777. Thank you for joining the live. Hi, Michael Pan. Okay. Let's see. Michael says, I am moving third-party candidates to be aggressive on cash payment reparations for American freedmen and chattel slavery. Thank you, Michael. Keep up the fight, ally. Thank you. Hi, Gwen XOXO. I see you, fam. So Michael says he's been busy educating third-party candidates to fight hard reparations. Okay, so third parties will play with reparations too. Yeah, Jill Stein did not get my vote because Trump was on deportation, closed borders. But they like to use reparations just to get the Black vote. And I'm telling you all not to fall for it. Don't fall, like Tim Black says, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. They're not serious. None of these candidates are serious about reparations. They're only serious about using the Negro to our own extinction and erasure and replacement with immigrants. That's what they're invested in, and they'll pull all the rabbits out the hat to make it so. So don't fall for it. Paul Mooney would comment on black people being like old loyal plantation hound dogs. I just hope our new Republican support doesn't turn into what we did with the Drats for 60 years for nothing. Well, Brewski, it's a protest vote. Let's be clear. The repugnant clans nor the Demonrats intend to do a hot damn thing for us. But what the Negro cannot do is get us caught up in a perpetual cycle of lesser of two evil voting, then tell us to vote the couch as we're on the precipice of extinction in this country, as we're being force-fed transgender rights, as we're being force-fed LGBTQ, as we're being force-fed illegals, as we're being force-fed abortion. So it's a protest vote. If we get something out of it, just be pleasantly surprised. But please don't somehow think that swinging the vote towards Trump or the repugnant clan has anything to do with expecting tangibles. Be pleasantly surprised, because they're not on it either. They're not for reparations either. This is not about that. This is about surviving so that when we win the fight for reparations, which I believe we will still be here to receive it. But please know, this is a protest vote. It's not like I'm believing Trump or the repugnant clans to give a damn about us. I'm hoping to eke out a tangible as an American, not as a Negro. I'm not naive. I'm an independent. But what I'm seeking to do is to get us to weaponize our vote and socialize our suffering. Because when the Demonrats are in control of the country, we're the only ones in distress. We need to boycott. Boycott what? This is the same lie they keep telling about Target and Walmart being in so much trouble over that stupid niggerant ass Jamal Bryant and what's his name, Al Sharpton, who received damn near $1 million from Kamala's campaign. Boycott for what? I've told y'all, of the $3 trillion household dollars we share as compared to white folks and immigrants identifying as white, sharing in hundreds of trillions of dollars, the Negro, let's see here. Of the $3 trillion, 14% shared in 2.93 trillion. 86% shared in less than some 700 billion since the pandemic. 14% of the Black population is melanated immigrant. 86% is Negro. So if we are barely surviving on less than 700 billion of 3 trillion, our median income is probably around 45-50K nationwide. The median home price is around $500,000 nationwide. We suffer the highest rates of single parent households, the lowest rates of marriages. How is a boycott serving anything? How are we the ones impacting the numbers over at Target and Walmart? We're not. If they're losing money, it's because the economy as a whole is in the toilet, and the whites and the immigrants who share in the 100 trillion household dollars can no longer just shop frivolously. They've got to tighten up. But it's not us boycotting anything that's causing these corporations with 3 Ks. It's not costing them anything. That's why they don't care. They don't reverse courses when it comes to this fake DEI nonsense, which only benefits white women and LGBTQ white men and immigrants, not the Negro. I've shared with you guys about that on another broadcast, that I want to say 4.5% were DEI hires that were Black. And of that, because Black is flat in this country, we don't even know what percentage of those was melanated immigrant. I'm almost certain the largesse of that percent is melanated immigrant. So boycotts are a waste of time, just like taking to the streets is a waste of time. We've got to weaponize the only commodity we've got left, the black vote. And if you want to boycott anything, boycott these stores that these white folks gave business loans to set up in our communities while denying us the right to own our communities. Boycott the Arab gas stations, the Asian liquor stores, the Asian nail shops, the Asian hair salons, the Asian, who else is owning? The 7-Elevens owned by them, the convenience stores owned by them. Boycott the shit in your own community if you want to make a real impact. But trying to come for Target and Walmart is in vain. We just don't have those kind of dollars to really make that type of dent. Now, when I run off these statistics, do know that some Negroes are in that 14% and some melanated immigrants are in our 86%. There is some overlapping, but not by much, as I just ran the stats down to you from the Color of Wealth. You can look it up for Boston and Florida. I'm not sure what other states have done it, but you can certainly look that up and see for yourself that the Negro is not winning anywhere in the country, and boycotts don't impact nothing. I'm glad you talked to your son about the Anthony case. I'm going to bring that up in another live, Ivy Dreams. Very glad you did. Very glad you did. That's a damn shame. I'm just so sick of it all, but I'm going to get into it because it needs to stay alive and until we get that baby freed. Affluent white communities have a lot of resources and they can definitely afford to house illegal migrants. Yes, but they don't want to. Just like they didn't want to give the immigrant businesses in their communities to take from them. They want to own the businesses and keep the dollar circulating amongst themselves. So they put these immigrants into our communities to give them businesses to siphon all of the resources out of the black community where the dollar doesn't even circulate. I don't even think it circulates one time. Carmelo's case is an opportunity for black parents to have a real discussion with the babies on white supremacy. True statement. Very true. Girls and guys alike, because you see the mistreatment of Carmelo as compared to what's that fool's name? Daniel Penny. As compared to Kyle Rittencracker. As compared to what was that cracker's name that murdered our baby Trayvon? I mean, the race soldiers. You can just see the difference in the injustice system. Working against Carmelo, who is a 3.7, 4.0 GPA, somewhere in there. Star athlete from a 2-parent household. I'm going to bring it to you. While the Crackers family, who in the name of Christianity had their boys taunt Carmelo to leave out from under a tent when it was pouring down rain. They did the very Christian thing and laid hands on him. I got a whole video coming. Stay tuned. We'll get into that one next since it's coming up. Hi, Mary Lee. Welcome to the live. We are not immigrants. Yes, Ivy Dreams. And yet the Demonrats keep trying to make us immigrant. We're going to hear Ratchety Crockett talk about it in that particular vid coming soon tonight. It's going to be a long one. Okay, let's keep going. I don't blame them. They should drop them in the black neighborhoods. You vote for the politicians that bring them in. Well, I can't even argue with you, Mary Lee. They did vote for it after I told them not to. But I wouldn't wish it on an enemy because now they're wailing and gnashing their teeth and there's no relief coming. Jessica used to live in LA. She's trying to tell these people what's coming if they don't change course. I didn't know that Jessica lived out here before. Oh yeah, I am too. I've been screaming and sounding the alarm for years now. Chi-Town. That was Miss Jessica speaking. Absolutely. Always on fire. Black Americans are law-abiding citizens. We don't support criminals. Thank you, Ivy Dreams. Correct. Mary Lee says, Americans, the people referred to as African American, don't leave America. It's what your ancestors fought and died for. It's what they left you. Yes, this is our inheritance. And from what I'm hearing, as I observe some of the content on ScrewTube, these Africans who had the unmitigated gall to sell us, our ancestors, into slavery, some of them, I'm coming into an understanding that most of us was already here. But they treat the Negro like we're white. They jack up the prices. They talk ill about and to us. Not all, because I hear the treatment of us is far better in the continent of Africa than it is in the wars you're seeing going back and forth for people who want our position in this country. So I hear that when you go there, you don't get the animus that is happening in this country because they're fighting for our position. And they're angry that we're putting the gate up. They're angry that we want delineation. Because with delineation, they can't grift off of our community and get all of our entitlements anymore. Because we lock them out. So yeah, this is the best thing going. You don't see us clamoring to leave the country. We'd rather deal with the Crayola wanton white supremacists that we know versus going elsewhere and not getting any of the benefits and entitlements that the immigrants and the illegals have been getting over here at our expense. Let me keep going. TRP, I understand why white Americans don't want to move back to Europe because they would feel depressed and not oppressed non-Europeans. Also, white Americans don't want to work in the fields. Well, no, they don't want to work in the fields and they never have. But in my segment on this, as Ratchety Crockett speaks out of turn and calls all of us immigrants, I'm going to show you how we were the farmers. When we start to make a profit on farming and own so much farmland, that's when the cracker does what the cracker does. Starts to take our land. And then wants to sell you GMO. I was in the grocery store trying to find grapes with seeds in them. Because I know this seedless crap is GMO. So you starve out the Negro who was farming, who is still farming to this day. They just don't have as much farmland as they want to, thanks to the cracker, thanks to the glacier donkey. Okay? So I'm going to show you that these white folks didn't want to work these farmlands until we made it profitable. Then they took our lands and started hiring illegals so that they would only have to pay them pennies on the dollar. Because we done sharecropping. Okay? So no, they don't want to do much. And the Negro ain't doing it for free. So therefore, you got the preschool to prison pipeline. You've got the private prison industrial complex to enslave us and to flood the country with illegals so that they can do it for cheap labor, slave labor. And then the rumor becomes the Negro don't want to work these jobs. All political theater to keep us bottom caste in the country of our ancestors, but we're not having it. Hold on, I'm just reading the pertinent comments to share, and then I'm going to pray this out and start the next one. I may only be able to get 2 in tonight. I can't believe it's 8 o'clock already, but I'll bring in the other ones this week after my day job. I've got fine. So if I get 2 done, I'll need to bring in 3 more throughout the week. Mary Lee says that's the parents' fault if their kids can't read. It's your job to get there to make sure that teacher isn't using your child as a in-class tutor. It happens. I sort of kind of know what you're saying, Mary Lee. And while I do believe that it's the parents' responsibility, I also know how much harder it is on the parents these days because they're not being paid American wages, and that's commensurate with the cost of living increases, how challenging it is, especially as a single mom who has latchkey children, and you've got to work 2 and 3 jobs, and you're leaving the older children in charge of the younger ones. It's just much bigger than the parents' fault. There's a whole system working against our children. A whole system is in play. And I've got another video to share about that this education system and tearing down the Federal Department of Education that has spent trillions of dollars lining their own pockets while dumbing down our children in particular and preparing them for the preschool to prison pipeline with white and immigrant teachers. That wasn't the case when we were growing up. My mom never had to ride me about homework because I have always loved to learn, and I've always been a reader, and I've always been great at math. That's not true of all of our children, and our children learn differently. So as soon as we were able to make advances, that's when the government conspired to take those opportunities away, to give them to immigrants to starve us out. So it's a whole machine, starting with our government working against us to make sure we never get up off the bottom of this Titanic, because capitalism requires a bottom caste, and this country has decided we are it. We have decided we're ready to trade places. So it's greater than the parents' fault. Yeah, the white guy over Danielle's right shoulder was smiling and nodding in agreement. The repugnant clans under Trump has become the lesser of two evils. Like I said, y'all can't get us caught up in a perpetual cycle of lesser of two evil voting and then decide to vote the couch. And real estate investors are buying up their neighborhoods to build high-cost housing. Absolutely, Mary Lee. Chicago's on the chopping block. Atlanta is on the chopping block. The Carolinas is on the chopping block. Where's a Negro going? Everybody that moves south. There's still 90% of our electorate that showed to the polls. I don't know how many stayed home and voted the couch. I don't have those hard numbers. I heard something like 17 million, but I don't know, and I don't know where he got that from, so I can't even really quote it other than to share that he said so. Some vlog that I saw. But yeah, where are the Negroes going as they continue to vote for their own extinction with immigrants? Where y'all moving? And with what? You going to move into tents, move your family in your cars? What are you going to do? You're correct. The Negro needs to stop crying for everyone else. Mary Lee, you're on the money. My protest vote for Trump, my third time. Well, honey, you're super smart. You're super smart. I didn't start to make that shift until Obama's failure towards the Negro, and then his exclamation point on his ass to kiss going out of office when he said no to reparations. This is why the fight has become that much harder. He opens the Office of New America, gets rid of the Negro identifier, not altogether, but he definitely tried to get rid of it. Him and Grace Ming, in my humble opinion, to take monies earmarked in the Negro name that Dr. King had procured to build the Office of New Americas to cater to immigrants at our expense. Yeah. And so that's when we started getting educated politically instead of just doing as our boomer parents told us to do. The boomers and the silent generation just had us out here voting blue no matter damn who, without demanding tangibles. Why? Because they were comfortable. They got everything they needed. Their offspring be damned. To this very day, the boomers and the silent gen is who I fight about the protest vote. But Gen Z has awakened, and we are here to take it over and to teach the children to vote in your own interest. And that would mean a vote against the Demonrats. We're at war. There will be casualties, but at least we get to live another 4 years and beyond, as long as we continue to keep our foot on their necks for several midterm and general election cycles. And for as long as we do, as long as we continue to protest, vote against them, I'm looking to grow the number larger than the last election cycle. As long as we do that, then I'll continue to be live. But if we start to shift the other way because we get afraid and we allow them to gaslight us that Trump is more criminal and more racist than they are, just because they're covert at it, then I'm going to just focus on the mask on myself and my daughter. Because this is a lot of energy that I have to expend putting these broadcasts together for our people to continue to move in a very niggard, economically genocidal way for the Democratic Party. So we'll see. Right now I'm here because they did the right thing and we got Trump through. But if they start to backslide because they get afraid and start to be about all these other groups, they're acting, they got some act right now. Folks is sitting it out. That keeps me hopeful. But if they start backsliding, I start to see more support for these Demonrats because of the lamestream media that's in the pocket of the Demonrats, getting into the heads and the psychology of us. I'm going to do something better with my Sunday nights and my weeknights. Bruce, you are very smart. How can Latinos be deported if they say they are the indigenous? You see, we make way too much sense. And that's what this government and these melanated, these Crayola one-to white supremacists don't anticipate. How brilliant we are. Sis, you're violating the orange man's order. No more Spanish-speaking videos. English is the official language of the U.S. now. Brewski, that's right. Thank you, Trump. Yeah, but until it trickles down into the corporations, yeah, we're going to have to continue to scream about it because it is a form of discrimination. And you don't see any FBA lawyers fighting against this discrimination that's happening, at least in the private sector. It's happening where they're demanding that you speak English for a job interview. And like I said prior, you can speak it as fluently as Pedro. You simply don't have the complexion for hire. I've seen Aida before. She gives some good commentary on Latino racism. Ooh, that's good. I'm going to have to look her up. Gen X power. There it is. Baby boomers started the economic mess since the late 70s. TRP Tara Perry expressed frustration with immigrants in LA. How do you convince her to leave the Democratic Party? Thanks. It's not my job to convince anyone to leave the Demonrats. My only job is to find my tribe. I need the revolutionaries. I need the ones who are invested in our children's future and them having a country to stay in and flourish in even greater still. Yeah. So it's not my job. She's been running in the Democratic Party for office. So Asian employers do the same thing Hispanics are currently doing. Yes. Okay, Michael, you need to unpack that because I'm not sure what you're referencing right there. But if you're speaking in terms of the way they discriminate against us in the private and public sector in terms of hiring, you're absolutely correct. When they're in charge, we're not getting in. My current position, I believe it's because I had 2 white folks interview me. If they had been immigrant, I don't believe I would have my current position. Now, they might be BIPOC, mixed with another immigrant race, but they were definitely white. I don't know if they are melanated. I don't know if they are antebellum white or Ellis Island white. But I do believe that they were the only reason why I got hired in my current position. Because the immigrants are only playing nepotism and putting their own in power. And like I've told you often, of all the brilliant people from my lineage here in LA, I'm the only one. I'm the only Negro on my entire team. In my territory. Let that sink in. Beautiful, intelligent kid, no lies told. TRP, I had a problem with a Latina woman not speaking English in 2020. Yeah. She is 100% correct. I understand why illegal immigration needs to stop and a moratorium is needed for immigration due to your personal experience. Am I correct? Absolutely. It's not just happening in the orange groves. That's my entire point. This is happening to us that are degreed as well. We are being replaced in every facet of business in the public and private sectors. That's why it's got to stop until the Negro is flourishing. And I mean, that's going to take a long ass time because look at how many years it took them to drive us into the bottom as a collective of this Titanic. Latinos and other immigrants are lying about civil rights because these groups did not fight for Black Americans to achieve real justice. Black Americans created civil rights for immigrants, etc. Well, Black Americans created civil rights for our damn selves. That's what we did. But just like everything, Michael, everything that we created, these Crayolas with 3 Ks love to weaponize against us to advance their pockets and their Americanism while robbing and denying and depriving us. So that was never about all these other groups. We were the only 2 here, blacks and whites. The Immigration Act came after. So that had nothing to do with white folks and everything to do with the Negro. Just like the 14th Amendment, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment is about us. We were the only group here, us and the white folks. But what they managed to do is take it and make it about everybody else, to give them upliftment over us to our economic genocide. That is by design. That's our government. We didn't do this for everybody because everybody didn't build this country. We did. Immigrants owe American freedmen everything because without them, immigrants would not be in America today. Absolutely, Michael. Californians pay taxes to the government and can't qualify for free public universities and universal health care. It's a slap in the face. Only the illegals get all of what we pay for. That's our reparations. While we're told no. We Americans are getting what most of you have been voting for, and blaming others for what our children will not get is laughable. Well, It's not funny, Mary Lee. Also, at California universities, our children don't get work study jobs. They go to the illegals. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'm teaching my daughter nepotism. I told her to reach out to a couple of people that I know out here in California when she comes home for the summer from college to get her an internship in her field. You know, when you see one of us, you got to get their information. They're the ones that can help you get in. Hi, Queen. I don't know Assemblyman Corey Jackson. Oh, was that who they were talking to in that video that I couldn't find, that I'm gotta find to share in my next video? Queen, is that it? They were talking to Assemblyman Corey Jackson. Let me see. Hold on one second. I gotta find it now. I think that's what you're talking about. Y'all, I apologize, but Lord knows. I tried to find it on CJEC's site. I couldn't. Let me see something here. Oh God, that's just gonna bother me. It's gonna bother me. Now that you see, Queen, you see what you started? I'm going down a rabbit hole again. Oh my God, let's see here. Hold on, family. I'm scrolling through my X files on X on my phone because I can't seem to pull it up on my laptop to try to find this video. I think that's what she was referencing, Queen Yasmin. Here we go. Thank you, Queen. Let me show this. I'll probably show it in the other one too. You know, repetition is the key to learning. Stand by. I have to Gmail it to myself and to share it with you all. Beg your patience in advance. Thank you. I'm going to try to tighten up the video. I finally learned how to edit a video. I just don't know how to split the video into all these different segments. That's coming next, but not right now. Let me bring this up and show you what we get out here in California. Okay, stand by. Sharing my screen. Yay, thank you, Queen. The Palm Springs City Council on Thursday unanimously approved a $5.9 million reparations settlement with former residents of a largely Black neighborhood that was leveled in the 60s for commercial development. Former residents of the Section 14 neighborhood, which also included, Latino families and other immigrants, have fought for decades to receive compensation for being pushed out of their neighborhood in the California resort town located about 70 miles east of LA. Upwards of 1,200 people will split the $5.9 million cash payment. After legal fees are paid, that would amount to approximately $4,000 per person, the city council said. And I said, I've had it up to here. So basically, because we no longer populate the community, they pulled an Elizabeth Warren on us. And now whoever lives in the community, even though they weren't the ones to suffer the majority of the harms, they get a cut. And this is what will become of our reparations if we don't keep the gate up. But let's get into this video that prompted my search on that. What I just read you. More treasonous non-action from the California Black Caucus. I guarantee they have no problem advocating for monetary policies for illegal aliens. We must vote them all out. So watch the CLBC member, thank you, Queen Yasmin, Corey Jackson, say no to advocating for cash payments, guaranteed income reparations for California seniors who are descendants of people emancipated from chattel slavery in the U.S. This is what we get while Crayola wanton white supremacists get everything that we're owed. Okay? This is Chris and CJEC trying to find a workaround to get immediate relief in the budget for our seniors here who are becoming homeless. because you need a good 125 to 150K a year to really make it out here. Let's watch. Look at the coons, okay?
This is a very
Make sure you can see it and hear it.
As you know, the proposal that we have is very specific. It's to carve in or out a specific program for seniors who are descendants of those who were enslaved in the United States. And as a part of what gets into the May revise. And that's what we're advocating for. I want to ask you directly, are you willing to advocate for that specific policy proposal, not simply the continued guaranteed income program, which is generally happening, but the specific policy proposal for a guaranteed income program specifically for seniors, many of the seniors who are here right now, who are descendants of those who were enslaved in this country? Are you willing to specifically advocate for that specific policy?
No, I don't plan on specifically advocating for that policy.
And can you tell us why would you not
because
advocate
it's not a part of the agenda that we've set as a committee, as a whole. And so I think that the idea is that we have since October, we have been trying to strategize in terms of what are going to be our priorities, what are the things that we most likely can get done, and what things are going to be hard to get done. And guaranteed income for anybody, to be honest, is a very, very heavy lift.
So we got it in. You
Right.
got it in the budget last year.
Oh, that was nothing though.
But you
I
got
mean,
something in the budget last year. You got a $5 million allocation to create a guaranteed income program for seniors generally. Why would you not then take the next step and target it, at least part of it, to those seniors who are descendants of those who were enslaved in this country? I mean, I don't understand why you wouldn't be advocating for that specifically, as someone who I understand yourself is a descendant of somebody whose ancestors were enslaved in this country.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So what is preventing you? Why would you not advocate specifically for American freedmen seniors to get a specific carve out in the existing program that you already created? What's the heavy lift about that? And why would you not advocate for that? I mean, why would you not fight for that, regardless of whether or not it happens or not? Why would you not fight for that?
Well, there's a different role that I play as chair of a committee. And as chair of a committee, I have to make sure that I'm looking at all the caucus's concerns as a Democratic caucus, right? And so the idea is that a guaranteed income program, period, number one, we've got to get it out of pilot mode. That's the first big hurdle we have to do. The second big hurdle that we have to do is find a sustainable funding source for it. So there's a whole process that I'm trying to go through to make sure that we have a robust system so that we can make sure that, we still got to do more for foster young people. We still got to do more for a whole bunch of people. And so for me right now this year, with all the different issues that are going on and the different programs that I have to save, that's just not something that I personally have a vision for this program right now.
Makes me hotter than fish grease. This is what we get: taxation without representation. Nobody else gets this level of excuse making when it comes to their bills, but the Negro. That's the video that I wanted to juxtapose to Miss Mexico UCLA to show you if she's crying the blues about the cost of living out here in LA, while everything is our reparations, taxes, and Social Security are being given to the illegals. How much more harm is this and these Demonratic policies causing the Negro that 90% of our electorate went out and voted for? This is why I stay doing what I do. I'm looking for my tribe who's ready to revolutionize the vote and weaponize the vote, because we're done if we continue at this pace throughout the country. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. TRP, what is your opinion about UBI for American freedmen seniors when you know that they need cash payment reparations? Michael, I am for getting things done immediately. And that's what CJEC is attempting to do, because we see that they're playing with our reparations. I just shared with you last week in the archives about how they took it looks like from what Ivy Dream shared, they're coming back on the 22nd of April. So I got to look into what that's about. But we need to, if there's a window to prevent that SB 437 from going through, we need to be about fighting that. I think LEAP just had a meeting, so I need to get in touch with you, Moya, and get a copy of what that meeting was about to see what type of calls to action I can bring to you all throughout the country to get involved with. Thank you for your advocacy for our fight here in California since the inception of the task force. But yeah, I believe that we need to get something that's already a part of the budget. I think it's a great strategy of CJEX. But as you see, the California Legislative Black Caucus is even not advocating for that. They are trying to starve us out, clearly, because the seniors are not going to make it waiting for cash repair. That's why he's trying to get them something in that bill that has earmarked $5 million to get a largesse of it to go to our seniors to help them in one of the most expensive states in the nation, trying to help them. So I'm all for that for our seniors in particular. Yes, I am. You showed that to us. He said he can't help Black people. Oh, I don't think I showed you that one because I think I just saw that this week. Honey, I could have, child. Stop. Listen. I share so much. I may have forgotten that I shared that before, but I still want to share it to juxtapose it to the Mexican woman who that graduated from UCLA. Something that is hard for us to do because of the cost of going to UCLA. We don't get their entitlements as Negroes. They get the reparations. They get the taxes. They get our Social Security, things they haven't even paid into. That's what she was complaining about. What I'm complaining is that even her being here as an immigrant is an albatross around the necks of the Negro to our erasure and replacement. So listen, repetition is the mother of learning. So yeah, some things my creative will say, you need to pair that with this. I mean, I'm just on the fly doing what God calls me to do. I'm listening to my inner Christ tell me, show this, boom, show that. So yeah, I kind of, as a creative, that's just kind of how my mind works. So some things you may hear again, some things you may see again. You all have to remember, I know you're my day ones, twos, and threes. You know most of this stuff, and I thank you for continuing to show up as my co-host. But there are some new people that watch this that don't have a clue of the backstory. So some things are worth repeating. $2,400 a month is not enough for senior citizens in California. No, Michael, it is not. Not when it takes about $125,000 to $150K a year. You're talking what? $2,400. That's $24,000 plus $4,800. It's about $30,000 a year. And your rent is what? $2,200. And you're expected to survive on $200 a month. And they won't give her the food stamps, the cash aid that they give to these illegals. I would bet big money that 83-year-old has been voting for the people that are partly responsible for this. Mary Lee, she has. And we got into major fights about it this election cycle. You should hear these singers at my church nailing me to the cross. There are times when I wanted to leave my church because of it. Because they're all Demonrat crash test dummies as far as I'm concerned. Sorry if the church family's watching, but they're on that hate Trump train without realizing that their continued votes for the Demonrats is why they're experiencing what they're going through. She got what a lot of Americans vote for, and we might be next. Yeah, well, we will be next if we continue to vote for the Demonrats. Miss UCLA Latinx was doing us no favors calling out her complaints. She still feels the entitlements that she's as American as us. Most of them do. That's why I wanted to show you that video. Mela Indian Temple, what about the 24 Immigration Act? Okay, are you a troll? Because I don't know of a 24 Immigration Act. If I see more nonsense, I'm going to have to let you go. Mela Indian Temple, I'm going to have to block you. I'm not for the nonsense, okay? Immigrants were not enslaved in America. I meant no immigration prior to 1900. Okay, Ivy. Hi, PD. PD reports the news. Nice to see you, fam. Those are two-parent families. Our families are women-headed, and that's the problem. That is the problem. Two parents. Now, imagine if we had the luxury to stay home with our children as our husbands worked. So I don't know if she shared what the husband makes, but I mean, that's all relative. If she's able to be a stay-at-home mom, he must be doing okay and can afford health insurance for a family of four. That is not the case in a single-headed household with children. Okay, it had a typo. All right, thank you. I got good news for you, sis. Call me. Calling you after your broadcast. Okay, call me on break, child. I'll be up all night. I got too much to do. We need a moratorium on all immigration until poverty is eliminated in the USA. Thank you, Alma of Earthia. Gwen XOXO, I'm sorry I had to say this. I know I'm going to be ridiculed, but I sold a Latino my mom's house, and 2 years after he was in there, it was a downstairs apartment. I asked him, I know someone that wants, well, that's the problem, Gwen XO. I'm not going to ride you about it. I'm not. But this is what happened to my parishioner. There was a Latino man renting a lovely place that she wanted access to because it was ground floor and no steps. He rented it to a Latino. So I'm not going to ride you about it, sis. Let me tell you something. Our people are niggardly even hiring them over our own, buying into the Crayola wanton white supremacist stereotypes that our people don't want to work. So we got to do better. That's all I can say to that. I love you, sis. I'm not going to ride you. You probably should have kept it to yourself, though, because now I'm mad. Oh, my God. Y'all talking like, listen, you and Michael need to exchange numbers. Y'all all up in the feed talking about Africa, Zanzibar. I know your trip was fabulous. Y'all need to take that off out of my chat. I got to fish through y'all's exchange on your Africa trip, Yaira and Michael, to find my comments. I didn't vote for Stein either because she's for open borders. Boom shakalaka. And I didn't vote for Cornell because he sleeps white. And he was crying more about the Palestinians than he is the Negro. To be one his damn self. So no. I need to see you, full chested when it comes to our plight and our fight. And if you're not doing that, you're not getting my vote. Plus, Trump had what I needed in lieu of reparations, since I couldn't eat that out of him. I definitely needed deportation, closed borders, because I'm living what I'm trying to implore upon others to circumvent in the other states where we have dominance. So, yeah, I needed that to happen. To rent that downstairs out, he said, I don't rent to Black people. I just went blue in the face. I know, talk about me, but he had the most money. I know, fam. It's I know. Mary Lee said, why should third parties be serious? We're not serious. Sometimes she drops some hard facts, but we're trying. Greetings. Oh, you know Melon Indian Temple? Okay, Yaira, if you greet them, they must be okay. I don't know about, okay, so educate me, Mela, since Yaira has endorsed you. Please educate me about the 1924 Immigration Act. I don't know about it. I thought you were trolling. I apologize. Boycott, then go back there to shop. Oh my goodness. Boycotting is a waste of energy. It really is. We don't have the money to make a boycott that effective, and we don't have the numbers that'll do it. This ain't the Montgomery bus boycott. It's not that. Didn't it take them about 3 years to get through that one? You got me 90. Hold on. You got me 90% getting off the couch. Maybe you'll get me the rest of the way by 26, Brewski. Oh my God, y'all make me laugh. You better get your ass up off that couch. And I mean it. I'm going to find you and beat you with a wet noodle. Get off the couch. We need you off the couch. And spread the word and take your other buddies who's sitting on that couch. Take everybody. Next election, we can vote the couch. It doesn't matter if the white men vote in high numbers and they're voting against what we want. They're voting against what we want? No, I think the white folks is voting for what I want. Listen, I'm not playing roulette with the line, okay? I'm not playing roulette. We don't need to rely on other groups to do what we need done because we are on the front line of the guillotine. So we need to be more invested than the white man to continue to make sure we vote against the Demonrats in 26. That needs to be our square till times get better for the Negro. And let's not expect things to be peaches and cream. They have declared war, been declaring war on us. It's time to return the missile with the only commodity we've got left, our vote. Unash your couches and your votes for the Demonrat. Go ahead and change to independent and get to the polls in 26 in Obama-style numbers. Let's not leave it to no other group to do what we should have been doing the last 70 years. That is ours. Our lineages flourishing in this country is on us to do, no one else. Don't count on nobody else to do what must be done. Let them show up or not, but you show the hell up. That's what you show the heaven up. Lord, I'm cussing on your day. Had church today, had a beautiful day, and here I am. Alma of Arthea. Blacks need to take over the Green Party. Green Party needs a lot more black people in it. Dems need a competitive, progressive party to make them do anything that will help black or poor people. Well, you know, we do need like a Tea Party of sorts, but I don't know that the Green Party is it. And I just don't think enough of us are that invested in starting our own party or taking over one even. I haven't seen that level of enthusiasm. Hell, I can't even get them to unask their couch. You heard Brewski. He's still 10%. His ass is still on the couch. Okay, so I'm not here to try to push no party. I am here, and it's okay that you do, Alma. I'm not opposed to people trying to come up with solutions. I saw my solution work this election cycle, and so I'm leaning into it for more people who want to protest vote. That's all this is. Both parties suck for the Negro. Okay, but deportation, closed borders is in our best interest. Boycott the taco trucks. That's what's up. Asians and Arabs. Asian and Arabs own the 7-Eleven stores. Boycott that. That's what Jamal Crash Test Dummy Bryant and Crash Test Dummy Al Sharpton should have been encouraging and imploring you to do. But they want to take on big companies because Al Sharpton, I think, is in the pocket of Costco, who Target is their biggest competitor. You see how this works? Getting our people to niggardly boycott Target, where they've got the most black brands. I don't even know what percentage is Negro, but at least it's black or melanated immigrants or someone. They've got the most of those kinds of brands in Target, and these niggardly clowns and coons is telling black folks to boycott, which means when you do that, those black products, those black-owned products go away. Tabitha was sharing about having products in Target and how it was going to impact her. But y'all want to follow grifting ass Al Sharpton, who used to work for the feds to infiltrate fake ass Reverend, and Jamal Bryant, who can't keep his stick in his pants, who was run up out of Baltimore and went down to Georgia to take over that church where the guy was sleeping with boys and died. What's his name? Yeah, he's now over that church. You got Raphael Warnock, who is a senator stepping over homeless people to get into Ebenezer, where Martin Luther King once preached. Yeah, but they don't call for a boycott of these immigrants whom white folks didn't want in their communities to take from their bottom line, dump them in our communities, and deny us business loans so that we can own our communities and have our dollars circulating. Okay. Boycott the Asian beauty supply stores. Boycott the Chinese, Mexican, Italian restaurants. Come on, Mary Lee. Come on. Michael, Mary. Yeah. Boycott all the non-American owned businesses. That's what's up. That's what they should have been telling you to boycott. Done it, Mary Lee. Got to work on Mexican and Italian restaurants. That will be hard. Tell the truth and shame the devil. But Yaira, they got some hellified screw tubers that will show you how to cook like a 5-star Mexican and Italian chef. I promise you. I throws down on all these foods that I no longer purchase on the outside. I'll get their menus. I'll look it up on ScrewTube, and I'll find the recipe, and I'll work it out in my own kitchen, and it's healthier because I can control the things that go in it. Okay? That's right. Yes, he did murder George Zimmerman murdered Trayvon Martin. Thank you, PD. Our people at Alma, from Mary Lee, our people won't do it. That's why they set up businesses in the black neighborhoods. Well, Mary Lee, they would do it. Well, are you talking about the boycott? Yeah. You know, these immigrant businesses were brought to our communities because white folks didn't want them in their communities, just like they're doing now. When you drop smallpox POC blankets into our communities, you have to spend our taxes on them. These whites and well-to-do white identifying immigrants don't want that in their communities because they don't want that absorbing their tax base. Same thing with the businesses. It eats into their profit margins if they allow immigrants into their communities to sell to them. So they bring them into black communities and then deny us the loans because, see, prior to all this immigration in our communities, we own those businesses. So it's not that we don't want to own business. The government is complicit in ensuring that we can't own businesses, mostly the Demonrats. That's whom our people have niggardly been voting for 70 years. When George Zimmerman called the police, they told him to stop following Trayvon Martin. Yep, initially they did, and he didn't, and murdered him and got away with murder. An African continent, we are treated badly. They love the colonizers BL started watching a lot of American YouTubers. Yes, Mary Lee. Yes, they love their colonizers here too. They love their colonizers here too. They have a bunch of disdain for the Negro in this country, but you can see them cleaving to their colonizers even here. Sis, I grow 2 types of grapes with seeds. I got you. Thank you, Yaira. I'm definitely coming over and saving my money. Tanzania, Zanzibar, Ghana, Gambia. It's all the same. Well, they want to use us as a resource. They treat us no differently than the whites when it comes to taxing us. They get a price for the locals and a price for the Negro. I'm going to show footage on that one of these days. I got an American over there telling you all about it. Everyone needs to start a garden. If you or someone you know has SNAP, please let them know that they can pay for food seeds with SNAP. I think they can also use SNAP for food plants as well. Thank you, Alma of Earthia. If a non-English speaker is in the class, the teacher will have your child helping them. It happened to my daughter. Next day, I put an end to it. Thank you, Mary Lee, for your advocacy. I will still blame the parents. Why haven't you had your child read to you? Yeah. I'm a CA certified master gardener, and I agree. Save your food seeds and plant them and or just throw them on an empty lot and abandoned properties. Mother Nature will provide for some of them even if you do nothing else. Mary Lee, there is a book that can guide parents to help children with reading. That's awesome. Your expertise is vital to the survival of our people, says Alma. Obama is a descendant of white slave owners and a Kenyan man. Okay, let's not leave that out. He ain't us. I agree with you that parents need to read to their children. However, not all children learn at the same speed compared to their peers. Neurological differences can explain the gap in learning. Well, also the environment in which they're raised. A lot of our children suffer a lot of trauma that makes it hard for them to learn. Yes, it is. I plan on giving pointers when I get out with the genealogy work I do also. It is all root-based. Reach out to Root Trackers by Yaira if you want more information on gardening and genealogy. I've given up on my people. My daughter and myself are the only ones I'm focused on this ish for 20 years. I'm tired. Fam, I understand, Mary Lee. I do get it. And if, like I said, if I didn't see our electorate get some act right and pull 23 and 8, 23% Black men and 8% Black women towards Trump, I would have stayed off. I had to take a break after that bullshit task force that took 2 years of my life. They got $2 million. The Bunch Center at UCLA got $2 million to advertise the task force hearings and just pocketed that money, allegedly and in my opinion. And it was me and ETM Media Group that was showing those hearings. I was juggling my own job remote from home while we were in the hearings, and New Scum was running down a $96 billion surplus into an $88 billion deficit on the pandemic and illegals. So I get why you're tired and focusing exclusively on you and your daughter. I had a lot of members, subscribers that emailing, inboxing, when are you coming back? And I told them, if y'all get some act right and deliver me Trump, I'll be back. And they did their part, so I'm holding my promise. But the minute I start to see some backsliding and I'm not, if we hold or grow, I'm here. But if we start backsliding and doing that Demonrat plantation bullshit, I'm done. I'm done, and I won't be back. That's how that's going to work. These lawyers are pathetic. The lawyers mostly are Pan-Africans, probably. Asian employers discriminate against Black Americans. Yes, they do. 2 whites interviewed you is exactly why you got the job. I've never been hired by a non-white, and that includes Black men or women interviewers. Correct, Mary Lee? That's the experience out here. Years ago, when I was living in the Bay, I was hired by a Black woman. But mostly, all of my employment has come from someone white, not an immigrant. Even at Wells Fargo, it was a white man and a white woman that hired me. Asian Hispanics are more racist than white Americans, which is what these crackers love in this country. They love that. They can take a rest and give them the reins. Our political leaders made civil rights about everyone, and we supported them. Absolutely, Mary Lee. With that vote. Speaking of UC California colleges, let's see if any of you are qualified for free college. Some of you may be Cherokee descendants and don't know it. Look up Route Trackers by Yaira. Yaira, share your information so they can reach out to you and figure out. We don't like helping each other, and we don't gatekeep. Now we're feeling the heat. Well, Mary Lee, I would say that we didn't. I think that the revolution is being social mediaized. I think that the trauma of having our people murdered by the race soldiers and the government took a lot of steam out of our movement. And it's not that we weren't moving, we were just doing it in isolation. I know I found my tribe when social media became a big factor in my experience. After 2016 and 2 terms of nothing from Obama, that's when I started getting politically educated, because I knew voting for the Demonrats was voting against my own interest. And that resolve grew stronger and stronger because I found my tribe. And we're here now. So yes, I believe that there was a time that your sentiment reigned truer than not. But I do believe that the changing winds and the changing tides are here. William and Mary College is the second older college. If you have certain ancestors, it is free. Okay. Corey Jackson was upset against the lawyer who was advocating for American freedom of chattel slavery. I saw the clip on YouTube. Well, the gentleman that was advocating, I don't know. Oh, you're talking about Camila Moore. Michael, if you can find that link, email it to me, okay? Corey Jackson was very hostile and honest about his feelings for California freedom of chattel slavery. Most of them are like this out here. They can descend from us, but they're not for us. That UBI won't get approved for our seniors, but California has already had a UBI program and everyone was in that line. Well, I don't know, Mary Lee. What you're saying is probably accurate. The problem is if our seniors don't know about it, they don't benefit. And that's the problem with a lot of programs. It gets repurposed and they never see a dime of it before it's all spent to line the pockets of the politicians and the immigrants. We're just simply being taxed without representation. We don't have these same congressional California legislative black caucuses coming to the people in our community to tell the seniors that UBI is available for them. We don't have that happening. So that's why Chris is on the Hill fighting in this upcoming budget for them to be intentional with earmarking some of that money exclusive to our seniors who need it the most. Corey Jackson needs to go because he only cares about race rather than fighting for California freedom of chattel slavery. Lots of them need to go. That's why I have a protest voter strategy. He won't support the program because he wants to keep his job. Well, you know what? If his job comes at the expense of our collective, then get on our side. Because that's mostly everybody that looks like us that's in office throughout the nation. They don't want to lose their jobs, and it's costing our whole entire lineage. Most of those foster youth are not us. Absolutely. I know Miss UCLA received financial assistance attending there as a strong Latino alumni there. They even have a house in that area for their students to live or stay there free and free meals. Oh, you are doing an excellent job. Thank you, Ivy Dreams. I feel like going on. This is the first time this channel ever came up in my feed. Greetings from New Orleans. Hi, Red Star 7311. Thank you. Woohoo! My day ones, twos, and threes. Welcome, Red Star 7311. Yay! I love it. I love new family. I hope you're learning a lot, taking notes. Share, 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 so more people can find me. Since you just got here, my channel is being shadow banned and I'm demonetized. So that's why, and most of my people don't get the notification. So I share it like before I go live in the X Space and Racebook. Yeah. And on ScrewTube in my posts. So welcome. I hope you subscribe. My relatives are just like the 83-year-old. That's sad. 1924 Immigration Act. It was the act to ban Chinese people and others from coming here. Well, I believe that we should not have, you see, we already went through the first wave of mass immigration when we were emancipated because we outnumbered the whites. They flooded the zone with what I call Ellis Island whites. Okay. So we had already had our 40 acres and a mule obfuscated and used to give them the Homestead Act that continues to this very day in class-based policies, which don't fix the Negro. Okay. So, yeah. We had people like Barbara Jordan. We had Frederick Douglass. We had many people speaking on immigration. And my biggest problem with it is until we're made whole, there should be no immigration. They should not be able to come to this country and become American before the Negro is. So that's what I'm fighting against with the power of my vote. Hi, Carolyn. $2,400, good for me. I will take that, but they don't want to even give us that. No, they don't. No, Carolyn, what Michael was referencing was me telling a story about my senior from church, my parishioner who receives about $2,400 a month under Social Security. And she has been priced out of her mobile home park that was initially for seniors because they want to get all the seniors out to build $1 million homes over there. And now she is left to rent a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment for $2,200 a month on $2,400 Social Security. Now, let me put an addendum on that. She is moving in a home health aide who's going to share the rent with her. So she will have more than $200 a month to live off of. It will be more like $1,200 a month, which is far better than how she's been scratching and surviving up until now. So I don't like that there's stairs because when it rains, it's going to be slick. I wish she could be on a level ground. I've got stairs. So I would love to give my condo to my daughter. That's the goal, to give this to her, for her to finish paying out the mortgage along with the roommate so I can double the mortgage and then buy a property. I would love a duplex where I can rent out a half and use that as a part of retirement income while I stay in the other half and have my own land. That's my next goal. But she's got to graduate, get on her big financial feet, and then we can make that transition happen while I get. So I say all that to say is that my next home has to be on the level. It can't be steps and all this kind of nonsense. I'm in the second best half of my life experience, my journey. So I need to make sure I don't have these stairs. And that's what I wish for her. But she got tired of looking. And the places are small, they're crappy, not in the best of neighborhoods in many instances. So she said she'd rather do the stairs. Angela, what do you think that information was that I sent in my email yesterday? Yeah, Carolyn, I don't understand who this group is. You have to understand, and I was going to research it. Carolyn sent me something that someone's giving away reparations, and I don't believe it. Okay? If it's not coming from people that I know and sources I know, it's oftentimes a scam to get Black folks to give up pertinent information in the name of reparations so that they can scam you. So don't click on none of these things, okay, family? If it doesn't come from me or CJAC or NASD or LEAP or CAP or CBAC, don't trust anybody else saying that they're giving you reparations because it's not been done anywhere. These are scammers. So don't do it. I will research it when I get time. My dad tried to sell a liquor store in South Central LA 80s to Black folks. They were redlining us big time on business loans then. He sold to Koreans and warned them on how to be with the community. Wow. This is what's happened all over. Cornel West is Pan-African. If he won, that border would be wide open. Yes, Mary Lee. Yes, Mary Lee, you're absolutely correct. That's why he didn't get a vote. Black folks saw right through that. Long story short, the Korean couple was murdered. Yikes. Woo, what for, Root Trackers? I'm in California, says Pinky Wells. I've seen all this mess. I know you have, family. We've lived it. Gwen XOXO, I'm sorry to hear that because I know that most Asians and Hispanics practice anti-Black racism. Yes, they do. Welcome, Pinky Wells. Thank you for joining the live. The Immigration Act of 24, also known as the Johnson-Reed Act, is significantly restricted immigration to the U.S. by establishing quotas based on national origins. Yeah, we need that now. Hopefully, the Supreme Court will decide that the 14th Amendment is for the Negro. Let's pray so. What part of Cali, Pinky Wells? Angela and I are in Southern California. We sure are. That needed to be our square 20 years ago, and I'm not relying on my people. Well, honey, I ain't got no choice but to rely on my people. We're the only ones that can turn this Titanic around. So I've got to. I have no choice. The Immigration and Nationality Act of 65 removed quotas, I think you mean. I don't know. Alma of Earthia. Oh no, Root Trackers, you have the flu? Oh Lord. Yeah, I'm sure you're exhausted from travel. Alma of Earthia, what is your contact? Okay, that's y'all doing things. He cheated on my sorority sister. Are you talking about Jamal Bryant? Trifling ass. Target already took those American parody off their shelves. Let's see if Costco gives them shelf space. No, they won't be. They will flourish without them like they have been. I do know of an amazing bakery in Culver City that's Black owned that now has cheesecake in the Costco. Let me find that for you all. So when you're in the Costco, I'm not in Costco's because it's just me. I don't need that big, bulky kind of stuff. Let me find the name of it so I can put it in the chat so you guys can support her. Okay. She is she makes these amazing desserts out of organic ingredients and 30% less sugar. Let me find it. Hold on, y'all. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Thank you in advance. So the name is Art Delectables. Art Delectables in Culver City, Black owned. https://www.artdelectables.com. I had an amazing piece of cake at my sister friend's sister's. Oh, what birthday was that? How old did Roz turn? Did she turn 80? Oh, this cake was so amazing. To be 30% less sugar with all organic ingredients, okay? Check her out. Give her business. She can ship to you the whole 9 yards. Yum, yum. That's what we need to do. Share when you know of a Black-owned business. Share it in the chat, especially if they're Negro. Hold on. She has cheesecakes in Costco's. Do you have YouTube channel or contact info? Because I can just, oh, okay, that they talking. Oh, child, y'all been busy. Lord have mercy. It's 9 o'clock. I got to shut this down so I can bring up my other life. I cook Mexican and Italian better than the restaurants. I know that's right, Mary Lee. Me too. I throws down. I have become a 5-star culinary chef with an international palate. And I mean, I throws down. Jamaican, Caribbean food, mostly Jamaican. That's my fave. And Asian cuisine. My spaghetti casserole is not to be believed. Even my Mexican dishes. I don't eat a lot of Mexican, but that Asian food, honey. My mushu pork, my white fish and black bean sauce. Oh my God. I got so many, but ScrewTube taught me how to be a culinary chef. Yes, can we please get 28 likes? I only see one. What? Honey, I hope that when the tape renders is more than one. Get the likes up, y'all. That's free. So many African countries stay worshiping troglodyte, mutant, lucredom. Lord, I don't know what y'all talking about. I wish I could grow some things. I'm in an apartment though, y'all. Well, Carolyn, if you have a balcony, you can grow. If you have a balcony, you can grow. I understand you. Some grow warm pods and lights won't stop you. 33 likes. Oh, excellent. I had to refresh. Thank you. Thank you guys for the likes. That's the way folks find me, like my newbies. I will find the clip. Thank you. What is UBI? Universal Basic Income, Carolyn. Look it up if you're out here in California. Perhaps you can get some checks flowing through you. It's supposed to close the income gaps out here to help you manage your life in this very expensive state. Yes, I told you that's probably bogus, that reparations thing. If it doesn't come from me or somebody I'm affiliated with, don't open it. I think the Koreans were disrespecting us and talking down to those in the community. The store was not from where Latasha Harlins and the border between Crips and Bloods. The store was not far from where Latasha Harlins was executed by that Chinese woman. She was murdered. And the border between the Crips and the Bloods. Well, whoo, child, the ghetto. That's a lot. It was certainly a scam because I may have gotten in over my head. As I said, I thought it was CJEC. I may need a lawyer to get out of this mess. The email I mentioned, Angela. Carolyn, yes. To all of those who are getting emails about reparations and cutting checks, it's a bogus lie. These people are scamming. Do not click on those things. There has been no reparations approved in this country for Negroes at all. They're more than likely trying to get your information so that they can steal money from you. They're not intending to give you anything. So I saw it, Carolyn, and I clicked on it and saw it, and I was like, let me get out of here. And that's what I was asking you in my email. What is this? So don't click on nothing. If you don't see it from us, it ain't real. Yes, Pastor Jamal. Yikes, Ivy Dreams. Why did your father sell his business to Koreans when he could have sold it to Black Californians? They were not giving the loans to Black folks. He tried. Okay. I think I'm at the end of these comments. Woohoo! Okay, guys and dolls. Do I got one more in me? Come on, God. Come on, God. I got to get these things out of me. I got to get them out. So I'm going to refresh, brush my hair, get the sweat off my face, touch on my lipstick, and I'll be back. But in the meantime, if you don't come back with me because the hour is late, it's 9 o'clock, I think I'm going to do one more, then I'm going to bring the other three. I really need to do them all tonight. We'll see how much steam I've got, because this week will bring a whole host of other things I've got to start to report on starting Sunday. I don't like being so behind in my content. Michael says in San Diego, you can find businesses like Tribute Coffee House, Brothers Cookies, and Twin Smokehouse Barbecue. Discover LA also lists Black-owned restaurants like Roscoe's, House of Chicken, and Waffles. Yes, I ate there today. Thank you, Michael. Very true. I will be here. Oh, not late out here. Oh, okay. If y'all gonna come back and play with me some more, I think I'm gonna deal with Carmelo, then Ratchet. Those should be shorter. Ratchet's Plantation. I'm gonna have to retitle some of these things because, yeah, it's not going to be in all one stream. So I think I'm gonna try to tackle those. I'm gonna try to. Let me see how much energy I've got, but I really want to get these out because I want to make a clean slate for this week. So I'm gonna do our declare and decree. I'm going to pray us out, our prayer of protection. Then I'm going to do the outro, and I'm going to come back. I'm going to try to give myself 30 minutes to get the next set of slides up and get a little refreshed and come back. Top of the show, we're going to run it again, okay? So let me do our declare and decree for this broadcast to close it out. Just a second, family. I declare and decree that the highest form of righteous judgment is served over all corrupt beings of the government, judicial system, including the police officers, CPS, Child Protective Services, judges, attorneys, FBI agents, the CIA, and all personnel working for the U.S. corporation with 3 Ks with wicked intentions, including the Demonrats, the repugnant clans, and all Crayola wanton white supremacists with 3 Ks. All hidden corruption and agendas are now destroyed forevermore in spirit and in flesh, in sleep and in awakened states across all timelines, realms, and dimensions known and unknown. The moral of this particular broadcast is weaponize your vote, unask the couch, no more votes for Demonrats, to your own erasure and replacement with immigrants. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I covered everything. That's the moral of this particular broadcast. We have no friends, just each other. Let's get this done. Protest vote, okay? With that being said, family, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever the Negro freedmen descendants are and their allies, God truly is, because, family, you are the face of God. Yes, you are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. And until we meet again, family, I want you to make it a beautiful, God-inspired rest of your Sunday night and work week. And until we meet again, if you're not coming back for the next segment. I'm believing for each and every one of us a ton of peace, love, and reparations, family. Thank you so much, everyone that tuned in. I appreciate you more than I have the words to convey. Make sure you share, like. Get the algorithms up so folks can find this very important content and we can grow our tribe. Okay, family? I'll see y'all in about 30 minutes. I got to build the broadcast out. Stand by for the outro.